Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
Great beer is about drinkability. Doesn't matter the style.
You guys are like walking beer Wikipedia. That's the first time that you've ever accepted me as a person.
Or you have a fermentation in your gut.
I'm jet propelled at all times.
How many guys do you think that you have the privilege to slap?
Somebody who's never tasted a commercial example, and this is how you know everything about this beer? Please, you don't.
I think that's bullshit.
I think it's bullshit, too.
Wow. Are you guys going to arm wrestle?
No.
We're going to teabag fight instead.
Yeah. You heard of Junkyard Wars?
Can I get another high five, Beavis?
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
And it's time for me to go on vacation.
All right, bye.
So this is like a 5-minute check-in show. We're just here to say hello, and then
Run the credits.
I'm out of here.
Already checked out.
It's time to go. I got that vacation syndrome today. You know?
Short timer.
Oh, yeah. Trying to get stuff done.
Can't focus.
I just sat around drinking beer instead.
What do you mean by today? You said that last Wednesday. You came in here and announced to me you were in vacation mode.
I was last Wednesday, too. It's true. Yeah. Who needs to be here when vacation is on the horizon? Came in. I went to the urinal.
Yeah.
Well, because I had been drinking beer all day.
Well, you have to leave a urine.
And I went to leave a urine.
Yeah.
And guess what's begun at the Hop Grenade?
People pooping in the urinal. Yeah!
Tagging.
No. Yes. The graffiti has begun at the Hop Grenade.
Oh, yeah.
What was the first one?
Lazy douchebags.
It's conquered. You
People
forget
have
that.
nothing else. You're here. What is the thought process that you're standing at the urinal? It's going to take, maybe 90 seconds of your life maximum. And for the 90 seconds, you have no choice but to start writing on things and scratch. In this case, it was scratching. They just decided to.
It was carving. It was artwork.
I'm trying to put my
The dick that they drew on the wall was artwork.
I always try to put myself in the shoes of others. I feel like maybe they know something I don't. So I go to the bathroom and I'm putting myself in the shoes of the graffiti artist. I've got my penis in one hand and the other one's just there. It's bored. The hand is bored. What should I do? I know. I should graffiti somebody's nice restaurant/bar thing. Whatever with this place.
Well, yeah, his dick in one hand, a razor blade in the other. It's a normal day for him.
So, if you go in, it's not marker yet, but if you go to the men's room, they started to scratch into the drywall, the person, and it's not even a thing. It's like a shape. It's like a kindergarten drawing. It's like finger painting.
Yeah.
And all I could think is that the person is an idiot.
So you don't want me to do that again.
I would like you not. I'd like you to stop doing that.
All right.
And I've been waiting for this to happen. I'm not all that surprised because
I'm not either.
Every bathroom you go into has it, right? Every public restroom has graffiti. It doesn't matter how nice the place is.
Disneyland.
Because they have dwarves that go in there every 8 minutes and clean off the.
They're not dwarves, they're cast members.
Graffiti.
But seriously, it's the only public restroom I've been in,
and I'm sure of it. But it really is
amazing.
Because of the level of service that they
probably.
It's not because people don't graffiti there.
No, I'm sure that they do.
I'm telling you, they do. I know. I've done it.
Oh, okay.
We should test this theory out, JP, on our next trip. We should graffiti and then go back the next day and see if it's
it'll
there.
be gone.
Okay. They'll close the bathroom and then
it will be gone.
They'll fix it.
They'll apprehend you and throw you from Space Mountain.
Totally.
And I really am trying to put myself in the shoes, and I just go, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Whenever I try to put myself in the shoes of someone else and I just can't get in their mindset, I figure they must have been wearing sandals.
Because you never wear sandals.
Because I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Thank you very much.
That was
Thank you very much. It's early.
Like I said, I knew it was coming, so I'm not all that, upset about it. I'm just. It's annoying to me because I try to figure out what goes through people's mind that they go, what would be cool right now while I'm standing here urinating?
This 45-degree angle line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If I just make sort of half of a triangle here, And
then what happens when they're done? They look at it and they kind of have a satisfied look on their face and they go,
yeah, You know what that was? That was a nice visit to the bathroom.
No, they pick it and send it on Instagram and wait for the likes.
Just graffitied Hop Grenade bathroom. Check it, suckers.
Hashtag isosceles. What?
Yeah, man. And so
next time you want JP to do something legible, it has to be in a language that's somewhat recognizable.
I don't know. Yeah, at least 187. What do the kids tag these days?
I will murder you if you don't get more faction beer.
It just begins.
I hate IPAs. Well, we know who did that one.
It's got JP's signed JP.
Yeah. And I dated it.
His signature is a picture of a cat.
I'm crying on the inside.
It bothers me a little bit, not because our place is new and nice, but because I'm sad about people being idiots. Why are people idiots? They don't have to be idiots. Maybe they could stop. At one point in their life, they could look in the mirror,
right,
and they could go, I'm kind of an idiot. I should stop this.
Maybe they look at you and go, all these people have gone to the bathroom here, and not one of them has drawn a 45-degree angle line.
Yeah.
Dummies.
Yeah.
It's fresh. Let's do this. It's like carving up a slope with some freshies on it, brah. Don't even worry about it.
And when you're considering whether or not to continue being an idiot, you don't even have to go. You don't have to be smart. You can just be in the middle.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the other side. How long do you think it's going to take for the toilet seat to get tagged up? You ever seen that?
Another couple days. Yeah, I know.
Love when they do that. They have like the gang tagging on the toilet seat. Is this an advertisement for your gang?
You're drawing where somebody's butt has been.
Who's the joke?
Right, and this is what I want to. If I were to catch somebody graffitiing our bathroom, I would bring them into the studio and interview them. I would not press charges.
I want to interview them too.
Right? I would not be. I would just go. I'd go, hey. Shithead. Would you come to the studio with me? So I just want to know. I'm trying to get an insight into how your particular brain works.
You know how many riots you would instigate?
Maybe you'd have to take the brain out of his head, too, to really examine it thoroughly, you know?
But could you imagine what possible explanation a person has? If I were to sit them down and really genuinely say, so listen, I just want to know, what is it about a wall above a toilet, or a toilet for that matter, that makes you want to write on it?
Let's think of some possible answers.
It's all the paint can fumes. He'd be like, blank walls are like blank minds, man. I got to have something to say.
That could be. He's like OCD, and he has to have a bunch of stuff there.
What if he ends up smarter than all of us? He's
when
like,
you're
well,
done,
listen, what Einstein said was...
I want to stand up and speak to him and give him my best mom scolding so that I can practice. Like, I kind of want to make him cry.
Yeah. Okay.
You're like, stop bringing boys home.
Gosh,
oh, wait.
Maybe he's bored, you know?
But that's not even bored for the 90 seconds it takes to go to the bathroom. This is the problem with the ADD that we all have with the Pull out your Facebook app or something. Write a message on somebody else's wall.
Put a glass holder there so he can drink while he's peeing or something. Then he won't.
We're working on that, actually.
Yeah?
We're going to do that.
There you go.
We're going to put glass holders in there. Frankly, I'm a bit opposed to it because I think it's disgusting. Leave your beer in the
gross.
area that's cleaner than there.
No one brings their beer into the bathroom.
But they do.
They do?
Oh, they do.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen it here. I'm standing there, and they bring it in, and there's nowhere to put it, and they put it right on top of the thing, which is close to the rest of the stuff that's happening.
And then when they flush, all the things come up and out.
That's what I'm saying. But people want to do this, so we're going to put in glass holders. Although that frees up then two hands to, I don't know, to mark up the walls.
How fearless, though. I mean, anybody can walk in on you as you're doing that at any time.
Yeah.
And you just have no conscience.
This would be one of the interview
loud,
questions.
Annoying music in there.
Oh, you think
so? Make them push it out and leave?
They'll push instead of like, they'll be worried about how fast can I get the hell out of here.
Bluegrass or something.
I like bluegrass.
I know.
It works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the kids like loud, annoying music, so we have to do what they do in the park across the street and play classical.
That's right. Scott, you're in charge of the playlist in the bathroom.
I'm all over it.
All right, here you go. You put
right, Bevo?
As somebody who sits in the studio with Scott on a working day,
what is it like, Bevo? What do you have to listen to?
I closed my booth because it's soundproof, and I put headphones in.
And she's like, okay, Scott, I get it. You're smart.
I'm cool.
Okay. Do we have to listen to another piano concerto?
We're listening to jazz now. Awesome.
I get it, Scott. Your brain is bigger than mine. Okay. Can you please put on some Nirvana now?
What's the time signature? I don't know. It makes no sense.
3:30 seconds. Haven't you noticed?
It's very disappointing, Bevo. I thought you were the fellow music person here.
I am a fellow music person, and I do enjoy classical music, but when I'm counting money, I I can't do that.
I've never felt less close to you.
She wants to hear
you just said.
songs about dollar
money.
bills when she's counting
Right.
money.
I want to make it rain.
Okay, I take it
I can't
back.
tell you how many
you wanna hear
times I
pour some
wanted to
sugar
just
on me?
like throw some cash up in here and just see what happens.
Yeah, you need hip hop for that, man.
Right. All right. Well, we've got a great show for you today, despite the graffiti in our bathroom that's arriving. We've got a brewery from Ireland, which is this our first time interviewing a brewery from Ireland, an Irish brewery, like a real Irish brewery?
I think so.
Yeah.
But as far as I know,
is.
this is our first brewery interview, so I don't know. Don't ask me.
You're slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got Galway Bay Brewing Company, who's going to be on the show today. They sent us some of their beer for us to try. We've got some IPAs. We've got some obviously some Irish-style beer, which we're excited to try. And they're getting some great ratings in the Irish beer scene. I guess on Rate Beer in general is the best, some of the best beer in Ireland. So we're excited to talk to Chris from Galway Bay. He's going to be on the program in just a little while. Let me get through some announcements, and then we can just get to it. We're still raising money to get us to Australia. Some of us are already going, but we're trying to get more of us there. You can go to our Indiegogo campaign and watch the very politically correct video that we created for you there. It's really paying homage to the great continent that is Australia, I think.
Oh, yeah. Great respect.
Yeah, I think we're really pulling out all the stops to show Australia that we respect them. Australia, that we respect them. We care about. They're our brothers in the other hemisphere. They're in another hemisphere, right?
I think they're in the same one, but
They're in the same
different.
hemisphere?
Yeah, but different pole.
Are they a continent?
I thought they were in a different hemisphere.
Shit.
Well,
the place is
anyway.
kind of big. You can't just drive
See, we
across
don't know
it.
nothing about Australia because we haven't been there yet.
When we get to the portal to go through to the wormhole, we'll ask then.
We'll ask then.
We'll ask the gate demon.
Only just one at a time.
That where the toilets flush in the
I
other
think
direction?
so, which is why I think it's another Is it on this planet? Or is it? It's the solar. It's definitely in this solar
It's in
system.
the solar system.
It's not on this planet though.
It's
But I
definitely
don't
in
think
this.
you can. I don't think you can fly there. I think you have to be beamed.
You have to go through the toilet.
Dude, I
Right?
watched
Yeah,
this,
you have to be flushed in.
It's like
Well, we're
train
trying to
spotting.
go.
You have to go in.
I watched this rad documentary on the cane toad. Apparently, it's a species from I forget where, but mainly
Australia?
Hawaii.
Oh.
No, and they bring it to Hawaii to eat these grubs that were destroying the cane fields in Australia.
And what happened?
And they were interviewing just a ton of people from Australia, like these backwoods, hardcore, like. Oh my god!
And it was good.
If you think Concord is bad,
I do.
These are the people who would not only would they scratch their names into your drywall, they would tear the wall down and go to the next restaurant and order another beer.
At least that makes sense to me.
They're lunatics.
In some weird
out
way.
there, they're lunatics. Watch out! Bring your helmet.
Okay, well, we're trying to go. You can go to our Indiegogo campaign, watch the video, and support us to get there. You get stuff for it too. There's at different
Yeah,
levels.
you get some stuff. It's not like every other thing we've actually tried to get money from you for.
Yeah, where we
actually
give you
something
nothing.
Back to you. Yeah.
There's a special Down Under BN Army T-shirt. There are hats. There's our BN
rad,
Army
too.
growlers that are pretty badass.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of stuff. The How to Make a Pale Ale DVD, we're giving that away on there. So sign up, give us a hand. We're going to try to bring more of the BN out to Australia so we can have some fun with the Aussie dudes and non-dudes.
It should be a good time, honestly.
I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
We'll report back to you, JP.
Think you very much.
About how fun it is.
I think we'd like to do a call-in where you call in and we'll just do a little special show, and I think it'll be fun.
I think we're going to try to do that.
Yeah.
Can I call you from the plane, or will that freak you out, JP?
It would scare me for you. I would get my grandma's rosary and just kind of, I don't know.
I would like
Gotcha.
that. I would like it if Nate did call JP.
$100 a minute.
Yeah, it's almost worth
Probably.
it. Just because it'll make JP uncomfortable just hearing
It will.
the
Yeah.
view from
It
the
would,
plane.
man. Actually, it would.
All right, we've got session night with Firestone. I think it's tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Right here at the Hop Grenade. Some of the Firestone Brewery folks are coming up from Paso Robles, and we're putting on 3 of their beers. We're putting on Pivo Pils. We're putting on what's the one that I really like that I can't remember?
Wookiee Jack?
No, Wookiee's on right now.
Oh,
Easy Jack. That'll be on.
Oh, that's new.
And you know what else that we don't normally get up in this area? 805, son. That's
Nice.
right. Firestone 805. We're putting that on
805
tap
and
too.
the 925.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, Easy Jack. God damn it, that's a good beer, isn't
Isn't that
it?
good?
Great.
Oh, it's so nice. Brought home a 6-pack the other night.
That beer rules.
Yeah.
Between that and Pale 31, what are you thinking?
Well, Pale 31 is still my go-to beer. That and 1500. I mean, I bounce back and forth. But so when I stray away, then I stray to Easy Jack. I'm not going crazy over here.
You're a real versatile guy.
Yeah, I'm not really flipping things upside down.
If you really want to get nuts, Bitter American.
Yeah, then maybe I'll have a Bitter American. I don't know.
Why flip the script, dude?
We have a lot of great beer on tap here, but
you see, you're a lot like me, dude. Yeah, dude, I go for the same a couple taps. Then that's about it. I don't stray. I've been burned too many times.
And I don't wish this upon myself, but it's just how I'm sort of a creature of habit, and I find some great beer, and I just go. I do come in usually, and I'll taste a couple of our beers, and they're good, and then I go, awesome. I will now have a pint of 1500. Thank you, or
I'm the same way. I just want to drink the best beer there. If I had it 5 days in a row and that's all I drank.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I don't feel like I'm less of a beer guy because I'm not having 13 different beers over 2 days. Right. But I get funny looks from our staff because we're a beer bar, and I sort of told them, hey, you guys, we got to try everything. We have to have all this beer, and they're like, so Justin, would you like another Pale 31? Yes, please. That's all I really want.
You're not the one serving beer, so you can just have the same thing all the time.
Good.
They need to know what's going on.
Thank you, JP.
Hey, you know what? You're welcome.
Well, also remember that they give everybody funny looks. Remember that review?
Right.
It's not just you.
Yeah. I did read through our Yelp reviews again the other day, and yeah, still a couple funny looks here and there. So
more people saying the same thing?
Yeah, still a couple funny looks. I don't know what it is about us. We give people funny looks. We're working on it. How are we doing right now?
I just looked out there and saw somebody smiling.
Oh, good.
Looks great.
Excellent.
Maybe it's too funny.
Maybe that's the funny look.
Maybe we ought to just own it. Maybe we should just make it our thing. Like, yeah, hey, the service is great. The beer's awesome. we look at you like you're stupid. That's what we do.
We have the personality of rock.
yeah, we don't mean it. This is how we were born.
Oh, you're going to have another of the same beer?
No, it's none of that. We don't say any of these things. We're super nice. We just look at you funny when you order the same beer. Oh, that.
We don't need to say it. The look on our face says it for us.
That's right. All right, so support us on Indiegogo. Session night with Firestone here. That's tomorrow night on the 19th. Come on out. Amazon shopping, that's how you can support us. Just go to the Amazon link right on our homepage. You do all your normal shopping, but if you click that first, we get a little piece of the action. It helps the Brewing Network stay alive here. Do we have an Amazon product of the week?
Indeed. Somebody bought The Psychology of Women in paperback by Margaret Matlin. This highly respected, best-selling book offers an enjoyable, extraordinarily well-written introduction to the psychology of women. How long do you guys think this book is?
Yeah, how many pages is that guy?
2 words.
It's either really long or a page.
Nuts. Or don't try.
I wish that there was both time and that I was a good enough interviewer to ask Moskowitz about what he thinks about this book.
No, you don't.
Because
you already know. You already
know that it would be an amazing amount of information about Moskowitz if we were to do that interview.
You're very revealing.
But I don't know how to do that.
Perhaps that's the point of the book.
Are you sure you didn't buy it just to go, God damn it?
I need more things to be angry about.
No. I'm not angry. Am I angry? Do I strike you as angry?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Ish.
Really?
No.
Are you offended this book exists?
That's the start of the interview, Nathan. You're a better interviewer than I am already.
No, I don't get offended. I'm unoffendable.
See, there we go.
We're not a true feminist.
So all that means is you chose the wrong word. Whatever word he would replace it with is what you meant to the rest of us, and we know that, but it's not offended.
No, it wouldn't be offended. It would be some variant of offended.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
What would be the word?
Do you think it's ridiculous
I'd have to ask
that this book exists?
No, not at all. I mean, I would like to know if there's an equivalent book, The Psychology of Men.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, well then, I got no complaints. I'm not angry. I ain't mad at you.
Okay, all right.
I would like to know if, given that our listener base is males for the most part, if a guy bought it for himself to learn, or if he bought it, for his wife. And how does that go over if you give this to her? I need you to understand yourself better.
I guarantee you that is not why the book was.
So he bought it for himself to understand women better?
Or it was bought for him. You have to think of that option, too.
I hope it was bought by some creepy, lonely guy who just realized he's 45, he's never had a date, and he wants to try to figure girls out.
He's like, maybe I don't get it.
I think that's more likely the case.
Yeah, it's like, well, probably stop.
Since I'm sort of like saying that creepy guy.
Oh, Tasty bought the book.
Yeah. Probably stop hoarding things, and you'll be fine. You don't need 29 back issues of National Geographic in your hallway.
Or on the couch.
I don't know. I think it sounds like a pretty good book. I mean, women are sort of a puzzle, right? I mean,
they're really not.
The roadmap when really?
Yeah, they're just over emotional.
I know, but
you're overly emotional.
I know. That's why I understand women. Yeah.
Okay, let's not get on that topic too deep.
I like
You're
where
probably
you're
right,
going,
of course.
Stacey.
I like where this is going.
You
want
want
to
to talk about
continue, JP?
I like it, actually.
I'll talk about
the
women. I
two
don't
perspectives are fantastic. I love that JP of all of it is like,
I understand women.
they're simple.
Yeah, maybe
It's all
he might be the expert.
Yeah. All they need is a clean wash. I'm just kidding.
They need a non-graffitied, clean washroom.
Yeah. No, they need whatever.
All right.
I feel like fucking Oprah right now.
Like, do you feel...
We're crossing the line there. We all knew it, too.
All right, subscribe and join the BN Army. Just hit the donate button on the homepage. When you do so, you get entered into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway. Now, More Beer is the sponsor of this program and every session that we bring you. They have been for 9 years, since before we ever did our very first show. So, wonderful people there at More Beer. You can go to morebeer.com, get all your home brewing supplies right there. And they give away $100 every month to one lucky BN donor. So, just hit the donate button on our homepage there. Get all these updates and more over on Twitter and Facebook. And send your show ideas to Scott the Jew. That's Scott@thebrewingnetwork.com. Send feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. Do we have a Twitter game today, JP?
Yes, we do, Justin.
Twitter game is brought to you today by the 21st Amendment Brewery in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from AT&T Park. That's right, cans. The 21st Amendment, bringing you our Twitter game. What do we have?
Thank you very much. Well, it's official. As of late last year, the hashtag on Facebook does nothing.
Oh.
So stop hashtagging on Facebook.
I thought as of late last year, they actually implemented that it does something.
Yeah, and then later on, it doesn't do anything. So you can cut that out. But meanwhile, on Twitter, it's alive and well.
Sure.
Okay.
So since we do most of our stuff on Twitter, I would like the Brewing Network, the BNN Army, the Nanarmy, to come up with a new hashtag for us. We need a new hashtag. The BNN Army hashtag needs friends.
Like other hashtag friends?
Like other
Doesn't it,
now you're getting it.
Doesn't it dilute the brand? If we,
it'll be easier to remember. More people will hashtag us if we make one that's easier and catchy.
Than BN Army?
You know, it's a game, right? Like it's just a game.
Oh.
It's not serious.
We're pretending it to be.
So, wait, I don't
we don't even use BN Army
understand it.
anymore anyway. So
we don't?
No.
Does that mean like we should hashtag BN Army and then BN Army for life underneath it, and then Beer Life, and then internet radio, and then podcast, and then...
That's what I'm saying.
Is that what you mean?
That's what I'm asking.
You just looked at me like you hated me, and I'm a woman, and you are supposed to understand me, so
I do
figure
understand
it
you.
out.
Just because I understand you, doesn't mean I don't hate you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a great Twitter game, JP.
Thanks, Casey. Of all the people that I would expect to have my back, it would not
I just
have
want to
been
move
Casey.
on is all I'm looking for here.
All right,
It's
so
a game!
give us a new Brewing Network hashtag.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Jiminy Christmas.
All right, let's do feedback now. Feedback's
let's do
brought
it.
to you today by our good friend John over at beerlawcenter.com. John can protect your brand like he protects ours. That's right. He protects the hop grenade, and he does a pretty good job because nobody's officially stolen it yet.
Oh, except those Europeans.
They try.
Well, and
haven't we
those
already
that have been shut down by John at beerlawcenter.com.
Haven't we already had feedback? Haven't we had feedback before? Do we need more feedback? Do we really need more feedback?
Well, this is different.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, shit.
You guys are fucking up each other's bits.
I guess I don't know women as well as I thought I did.
I have to put my glasses on to do the
we only
feedback
got-
now.
You
Somebody
need-
wrote into the chat room at the beginning, I guess because the cameras were on, that seeing me with my old man glasses is reminding them of their own mortality.
I took a lot of pleasure in reading that to Justin.
And I can relate to that in a way, too. Like, if you think about it, I've kind of grown up on the air here, right? Like, I was... When I wasn't like a kid or anything, but I was a
wouldn't
lot
say grown
younger
up. You've
than I am
aged.
now. I've aged. There you go. And so people have watched me age, with the gray hair comes in. That wasn't here in the beginning. And now with the glasses, pretty
Big ball
soon
sack.
the cane, the big ball, the cane that'll be surely the prosthetic
It's just a
leg
matter of
is
time.
fun. So
You'll probably come back with all
The
this
ear
stuff
horn or
from Europe.
whatever it's called.
what's that for?
The old time hearing aid where it was like a big long.
Yeah, it's like a trumpet that you shove in your
Oh
ear.
my God! I can't
trumpet,
wait
that's
till
what
I
it
have
is.
to use that. That'd be
Trumpet,
great.
that's what it is.
Yeah, like hearing aid, forget it. I'm using an ear horn.
Eh?
What are you, Moskowitz now with the old timey references? Wait till you have an ear horn.
Yeah, and you're so angry, Bevo.
All the kids in the mission
Sorry,
have one
I'm
now.
sorry.
Wait till the Black Death comes upon you. Comes
Yeah.
knocking at your village.
Yeah, try to listen to that through an ear horn, kid. Bunch of screaming and crying and dying.
Don't steal my monocle. I'm holding my ear horn.
All right, Benji Brew writes in, hey, BN crew, I'm sure someone suggested this before, but it might be an incentive for even more listeners to subscribe to the BN if they received a corresponding rank patch that they could have their wife or husband sew into their BN gear. Okay, that's not a bad idea. Actually, I think we're at work on that already, so I do like the suggestion. It's a good one. Also, I was curious about the recent Brewcaster ranking on the spectrum of homosexuality. Okay.
Right. We're experts on that shit.
Yeah, what is this about?
I don't know.
With Jamil rating the highest.
Oh, wow.
Where does this at?
Yeah, where is this thing? This sounds
Wait,
funny.
I think this is his opinion.
Yes, it's his opinion.
So he says, Jamil rates the highest until I started listening to Brew Strong from the beginning. If anyone questions whether the BN celebrates diversity in the brewing community, you can simply direct them to listen to these shows.
I don't know why I'm the only one who's dying over here.
I don't get
I think
it.
It's hilarious.
Is he just saying that...
I think he thinks that Jamil's gay, and he wants to know where we all align.
What if Jamil... What if it turned out that Jamil was gay? Would anyone really care?
His wife might.
Would anyone be surprised?
Aside from his wife and kids.
Everybody's
Bevo.
with everybody's bits
Just
here.
saying.
Yeah.
Just go with the flow here.
Yeah, help a brother out over here.
You asked a question. I answered.
That's true. She did. I understand women.
All right, well, never mind.
It's a rhetorical question.
Well, let's just leave it alone, because he is married. So, I don't want to bring him out.
It's just he's a soft man.
He is
You
a
could have
soft
dual
man.
citizenship.
Especially after he has a couple beers, he gets
Yes.
very loving.
Yes.
He's a loving man.
Yes.
Sometimes I just call him my loving man.
I'm sorry. Did anybody else just hear Tasty say that he could have dual citizenship?
No, I didn't hear that. But thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Yeah.
He might have that.
Yeah.
All right.
I know
Well,
a lot
let's
of girls
go
like
on to
that.
the next one. Ken from Folsom writes in, hey, BN dudes and Sassy Bevo.
Hey.
Wow, your mouth is full.
Was that Moskowitz? I've been
angry
listening
enough.
for a couple years now and really enjoy the show. You're all fantastic, blah, blah, blah. Except for the arrogant faction guy. Just kidding, sort of. And Roger is sort of the opposite of arrogant.
He really is.
He's really self-deprecating.
He's abrasive to hide his shyness.
Yeah. Anyway, he says, I want to open a topic that's a little controversial. Great.
Jamil is gay.
Yeah. So bear with me. I love our California brewers, but I'm pissed off that a lot of them are creating 4-packs of a traditionally sold 6-pack and charging me the same or even a steeper price. I'm not one to complain much, but I find this offensive. The 4-packs are increasing potential profits by a third. That's good for the brewery, but sucks for us, and I don't like it. When I see a brewer doing this, unless it's a special brew, I no longer buy their beer. It's just too greedy for me, he says. Some of my craft brew friends feel the same way. So can you address this? I know costs can be higher for brewers, but that much higher? Thanks for listening. Love you all. Et cetera, et cetera. From Ken in Folsom. Well, I would like to know an example of a beer that used to be in a 6-pack that's now in a 4-pack.
Yeah, I don't
for
know.
one.
And I assume he's talking about 12 ounces cans in both situations.
Right.
If it's now 4 16s instead of 6 12s, that's not that necessarily. It's like a 4 ounce difference.
Yeah, so he must be talking about 12 ounces.
Assume
Yeah.
he's 12 ounces.
Okay.
Yeah, he's voting with his selection. I'd probably do the same thing actually.
But I don't know.
But what's an example of
I don't know
what he's
I've never-
talking
no,
about?
I don't know. He must have seen it. But
and California brewers, to me, means that there's more than one.
Yeah.
There's one I can think
Chat
of.
room is saying Bigfoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Sierra Nevada Bigfoot has gone from a 6-pack to a 4-pack?
But hasn't changed the price?
I don't know if it's
I'm
changed
okay.
the price
Wish
or
you'd give
not.
us an example.
That's a beer I don't buy a ton of, but I'll buy a little bit from time to time. It's a
needs
novelty
it?
anyways. How much of that are you going to buy?
Yeah, who
I
needs
think,
a
right?
6-pack of Bigfoot anyway?
People put it down. They age that
Ever.
shit.
Yeah, so you can do that with a 4-pack.
People saying Green Flash maybe did the same thing, the West Coast IPA or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't pay much attention to package.
I don't. Here's what I think. I sort of straddle the fence on this topic, to be honest with you. And I'll give you an example. Now that we have a retail location and we have purchased Cantillon to sell at retail, now that we know what other retail locations are paying for it, we've actually made the decision to stick to our normal markup. In other words, we have a formula for how we mark up beers. And we're kind of keeping that formula across the board. There are other retailers, especially when it comes to your more rare beers like Cantillon, who will double, triple, even quadruple the markup because it's harder to get that beer.
Oh.
We've chosen not to do that.
That makes sense.
We're actually sticking with the formula because we feel like, well, this is what we decided as our bottle markup, and we would like people to be able to try this beer at a reasonable price. So we stuck with it. So that was us deliberately choosing not to pick the price that the market will bear, because the market will bear a higher price, and instead picking to stick with what we started out with.
Well, sure, that's your formula.
Which was a formula that we mark up
beers. Your business plan doesn't say, oh, yeah, and the gouging factor, it'll be 10% more. No.
Yeah.
And your business plan says this is our markup, and this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And you'll make as much on a Cantillon as you make on Stone IPA.
Right. But I have to admit to you that I'm not opposed to the charging what the market will bear. That's sort of what capitalism is. So I'm not.
Sure.
I'm not actually. And I'm trying to shit on other retailers that follow that. They're charging what the market will bear because that is a system of thought that works in capitalism. It just happens to be in this case not ours. Now, if Sierra Nevada, I would have to see. There's probably a million factors involved in if they chose to go down to a 4-pack for the same price. Not the least of which would be the rising cost of ingredients, inflation, the cost of their doing business going up because the way they decide to do business. There's an enormous amount of factors. So I can't really... I know you'd like me to jump on the wagon here with you, Ken, and say, oh, damn it, we should always pay the same for the things that we pay for. But I don't. I really do straddle the fence on it. And I, maybe they're just following the model of what the market will bear. And if people will buy 4-packs
that'll come out in the
of their Bigfoot for the same that they would buy 6-packs,
sure.
I don't really think it's a crime for them to do so.
No.
But the point there being, Moscow, and I know that this will ring a bell with you, it's what the market will bear. So if the market decides that they don't want to buy 4-packs for the price of a 6-pack, they'll change.
And Ken has decided that, like Tasty said right at the top. He's making his opinion heard with his dollars, and that's if enough people agree with you, then it'll fix itself.
So so I'm saying to you, Ken, if this is what you believe, and this is what a lot of craft brewers believe, and you stop and you put your purchasing dollars at work elsewhere, then the market will reflect it. In the meantime, I guess maybe you have to not enjoy Bigfoot or whatever other beers you might be talking about, and that's a bummer. I get that, which is one of the reasons we choose to stick to our percentage model here at the Grenade, because we feel like more people, it kind of democratizes beer for us. This is some coveted beer, and we want people to be able to enjoy it. And just because we have access to it doesn't make us feel like, we could stand on our high horse and charge you $1 million for it. If we start doing less business, we might change our mind. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime,
we'll be picking your pockets and everything.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like I said, I know you wanted me to kind of jump all over that, but I'm kind of on the fence. But I think that businesses have the right to choose what they're going to charge, and the market helps them decide that. And if people keep buying the 4-packs, well, that's what it's going to be.
And also, please provide examples when you make generalizations. We love generalizations, but examples make it a lot easier to answer the question.
Well, yeah, to the point of this one, maybe Bigfoot was not a good example. Had you given me some other example, like a Pale 31 or something, I might have jumped all over that for you. So examples certainly would have.
Especially since those are California beers he was talking about, we'd probably be able to deal with it.
Oh, I'd be pissed if Pale 31.
The elusive 3-pack, $11.
Oh, damn it. I changed my whole tune. It's ridiculous. All right. What is this? Somebody wrote in a studio name here, JP? Grain Man writes in, the phrase Charlie Mike is a military term that means continue the mission. So it seems to fit that we should name our Studio Charlie Mike. I don't know.
What are you going to do? It was a slow feedback.
I like the meaning behind it.
Yes. Because cool. we're still moving on.
Because we're struggling on.
That's right.
We're marching on.
That's right.
We're going forward.
We're rolling forward.
I like it.
Bevo likes it. Studio Charlie Mike?
Yeah.
Could be named after Charlie Papazian and Mike Tasty McDole. Has a lot of meanings behind it.
Some weird chimera of homebrewing people.
Dual meanings won't make any sense at all. I mean, just like...
Studio Charlie Mike. I don't know. It's a little too military for me.
It's a little meaningful.
Wasn't Charlie also the name of the enemy?
Yeah.
So it feels a little offensive.
Well, the Vietnamese enemy, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
We have many enemies.
They're not all called Charlie?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I don't know either.
Shit.
All right. Brown writes in.
I think it's his given name.
This is our spam of the week. So Brown writes in, hello. I would like to place a free pet for adoption ad both online and on print in your newspaper categories. Oh, our newspaper category. That must be new.
Hold the presses.
Below is my ad text. So kindly quote me the full total cost of my ad for 2 weeks so I can forward you my credit card for the charges. JP, I hope you already did this.
Of course I did.
Okay, good.
Crazy?
Here's the ad text.
Give them the monthly rate.
Free to good home. 2 Yorkie puppies. Rehoming. AKC Reg. Contact me via email for more details on revbrown85@gmail.com. So kindly please get back to me as soon as possible. Regards, Brown. This is a weird spam. What's the angle here?
I don't know.
He gives us his credit card number?
Yeah. Maybe he's trying to catch spam people. I don't know.
It's like, yeah, how about you spam me? He likes spam.
He loves it.
He's soliciting spam.
Yeah, I thought it was real weird, man. I don't know.
It's weird.
And first of all, how do people get our category?
Yeah.
Why are we a newspaper? Why? But Yorkie puppies? Of all the stupid things to sell, Yorkie puppy.
And what would you sell them? Or are they just for adopt? I don't know.
No, they were free to a good home. Didn't they free?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I'll take one.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Chris from Galway Bay Brewing Company. Galway Bay Brewery out of Ireland. And we've got some of their beer to try here in the studio, so we're going to do that. Hang in there. It's the session. 888-401-BEER. That's our phone number. Bevo's there to take your calls. Or hit the chat button on the homepage. We'll be right back.
Listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
This is a public service announcement.
Hey, dude, I think there's... what's wrong? You don't look so good. There's something wrong with your beer. It's making everyone sick.
Don't let your beer make your loved ones ill. Proper cleaning and sanitation is the key to avoiding puke on your shoes.
But I used an all-in-one.
Cleaning and sanitizing cannot be done in a one-step process. No cleaner can sanitize, and no sanitizer can clean. The amazing chemists at 5-Star Chemicals have your solution. Clean with BBW and sanitize with Star San.
Fantastic!
Your friends and loved ones will thank you. 5-Star products are available at fine homebrew shops near you and online. Put your best beer forward with 5-Star Chemicals, your one-stop for the cleanest two-step solution.
As a brewer, you already don't settle for second best. You want great tasting beer and you want great equipment to make it with. So don't settle for the second best grain mill. You want a Monster Mill from Monster Brewing Hardware. Monster Mills are tough, come in 2 and 3 roller designs, and are made right here in the USA from superior materials for longer lasting performance. Pick the mill that's right for you at monsterbrewinghardware.com and take Bevo's advice.
Trust me, it's always better to have a bigger tool than you think you need.
Monster Mills have the best warranty in the business. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Visit monsterbrewinghardware.com now and check out all the mills and mill accessories. Don't settle for second best. Get a Monster Mill from Monster Brewing Hardware.
Have you ever dreamed of attending the World Brewing Academy? This year, thanks to Lallemand and Danstar, one lucky brewer will make that dream a reality for free. Lallemand and Danstar invite you to enter the Beer School 2015 contest. One lucky grand prize winner will receive fully paid tuition to the 2015 World Brewing Academy web-based concise course in brewing technology worth almost $4,000. From now until December 13th, 2014, every Danstar yeast packet you use is your ticket to enter. Visit danstaryeast.com for the details and to print your official entry form. There's no limit on the number of times you can enter, so get brewing with Danstar and get your entries in to the Danstar 2015 Beer School Contest. Whether you want to build your home brewing skills or build a career as a professional brewer, this course will change the way you think of beer and brewing. Enter at danstaryeast.com and get the dry yeast advantage with Danstar and Lallemand Premium Brewing Yeast, and enter to win.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
You're tuned into this session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us, too. We got a great show planned for you tonight, so we're just going to keep on rolling. I want to let you know first about Beersmith home brewing software. That's right, our good friend Brad over at Beersmith has the best brewing software on the market. You know, he calls it home brewing software, but I think it would work for almost anything.
I just tried scaling up to 15 barrels a couple times last week.
And?
Seemed to work well. We'll find out soon. Yep.
All right. So you go to beersmith.com right now. You get your free 21-day trial of the software, so you don't even have to take our word for it, but we're all using it. But you can do that. Get your free trial. Check it out. If you don't like it, no worries. It works on a PC. It also works on a Mac. And then I wanted to let you know, too, that, you know, Brad has a podcast. He's been doing different things with that. In fact, I think our good friend Chris White was just recently on the Beersmith podcast. They also have begun doing DVDs, and he did a video with John Palmer, How to Brew with Malt Extract. So you can buy that. It's, you know, if you're already into brewing, buy it for your friends. If you're just getting into brewing, it's worth a shot. I mean, John Palmer's the guy. Like, he's the How to Brew guy. So doing that with Brad Smith, go check it out. There's a lovely trailer of John Palmer on the website. Have you seen it, JP? No. There's a handsome John Palmer. He's holding a hose.
Oh, he's fully dressed.
Is he writing on the wall with the other hand?
No, which I don't. You know, he's a smart person. So anyway, go check it out. Beersmith.com right now. All right, we've got Chris Traynor on the line from Galway Brewing Company, which is out of Ireland. Chris, what's happening?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Thanks for being on the program, man.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Chris was nice enough also to send us beer. Not just send us beer like, oh, I'll put it in a box and it'll sit on a freighter or whatever the hell happens between Ireland and here, which I have no idea. It's like rail system or something.
I think it's tubes.
You sent it with some actual people who were visiting the United States, right, Chris?
Oh. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, we got it. Personal couriers to deliver direct to you.
Perfect. And then it sat at Scott's house where he drank half of it and brought us the other half.
Please, I drank like a third of it. I mean,
it was barely a third.
Get out of here.
We're just out of a couple styles, that's all.
Finder's fee.
Yeah. It's like the brewer gets on and Chris is like, oh, so how did you like the ESB? What ESB?
You said an ESB.
And then Scott's like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, guys. Right. He leaves during that part of the...
We sent 2 Cantillon bottles. Did you guys enjoy those?
And I say, yes, I did. Yes, they were delicious.
Yeah.
Well, as long as somebody enjoyed it, that's really what matters.
I'm grateful.
Yeah, I get that.
Now, Chris, I have in my notes that you might be, you're at least but you might be the youngest brewer in Europe.
Quite possibly. I started working for Galway Bay Brewery 2 years ago.
Okay.
In July, and I came straight from university, and I started when I was 22 years old. And now I've just recently turned 24, so I believe I am the youngest, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's probably no way to tell, but that's a pretty damn young head brewer, man.
Yeah, I can't. I'm probably about 50 years old in my head at this stage. The amount of hours I do week on week, but
as long as
it's paying off anyway.
Good. As long as you're not starting to show it physically yet. But
well, I've a few grey hairs popping up, but that runs in the family.
Okay, so you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Now, when you said you just got out of university when you started there, did you go to school for brewing or something else?
I studied biotechnology, so that put the scientific head on me, and of course there was a lot of home brewing as I was going through university, not being able to afford nice beers, so I decided to make them myself. And there was a stage where about 30 of our class, there was about at least half of them over making beer, so there was never an uneventful night drinking with our classmates.
Beautiful.
How were you familiar with nice beers?
We're very lucky. We get a lot of nice stuff in Ireland, between being so closely situated to Belgium, some nice stuff coming from the UK, and even some really impressive stuff coming from the States, and that's where I take a lot of my influences from personally on the brewing side of things. But we get some really impressive imports now in Ireland. Even very recently, we've seen a lot of founders. We get founders on tap regularly at this stage.
Nice.
Sierra Nevada's been about for ages. But yeah, and on top of that, between some very very nice American folk coming across the pond and deciding to fire me an email, I've got tasting some very impressive beers.
Beautiful.
Two of which have really blown me away are probably not too far away from you, is Almanac Brewing Company.
Yeah.
We've got 2 of their sours, the Dog Patch and Pluot Sour, and both of them just blew me away.
I think we have the Pluot Sour on tap right now.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous. We had 1 bottle and we had to begrudgingly share it between 4 people. So if we had that on draft, we'd definitely make a good dent into that.
So without naming names, a well-known American, heavily German-influenced brewer who is a friend of the show was in the Hop Grenade earlier today and tried the Almanac
lost me.
Pluot Sour,
and
he couldn't finish it. He was like, what's wrong with this beer? And he gets it to me, and I'm like, the beer's amazing. Guy whose name starts with a D. I was like, the beer is awesome, and he's like, but he's all German lagers. Like, you got to understand, this man is. And I just was like, so I was like, I'm finishing that beer. There's no way that we are wasting a glass of the Almanac Pluot Sour.
So is he not a sour guy? Is that it?
He's not only not a sour guy. He's a lager, clean German lager.
Well, I know that's what his company, and that's what he makes, but I didn't know that means that he can't enjoy anything else.
No, he's very German in that way. Many Germans would say the same thing, like, what is this piss that you put in a glass for me?
Germans are known for tolerance, right? They're tolerant people, so I can't imagine.
Yeah. I thought it was funny.
Berliner Weiss, different story. All of a sudden. But,
that one. Well, this one's okay. Actually, I don't think that this particular brewer would accept Berliner Weiss either.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, all of the Almanac beers. Have we had a miss yet?
No.
I mean, Chris, I hate to make you even more jealous, but they're all amazing.
They're all very good.
Yeah. We also, upon this Almanac tasting, we got very lucky, and we had 2 Russian River sours, Consecration, and I can't remember what the second one was. there was a lot of beers that night. But very, very impressive what the American scene are putting out in terms of sours, and it's really adapting to the craft beer market, and we're very impressed over here from what the stateside are doing with the sours.
Excellent.
Is your wallet impressed? I mean, what are you paying for these beers?
Well, at the moment, there's not very many sours that we can buy, so they've all been gifted. But once they start making their way into our market, I'm sure we'll be much poorer than we were.
Yeah, because we're already paying a lot, and then there's the shipping cost and everything else.
Yeah. What about like Sierra, for instance? That's been there for a while. What is that? How does that compare to, say, the beers that you would make at your pub?
In terms of cost?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sierra Nevada, the cost is fairly good in Sierra Nevada, but I'd say we'd actually even out at the same price per pint.
Okay,
nice.
But that could come out. Some beers with Sierra Nevada would be served at the US size pint, which is slightly smaller than our pint size, so
we're
kind of
sissies.
evens out that this is similar cost.
That's racist.
Chris, he's charging $15 a pint, Chris.
That's a good question. What is the cost of a pint at Galway Bay there?
It averages out it depends on the alcohol strength, because in Ireland we get charged tax upon volume and ABV, which is killer whenever we decide to make beers like our double IPA. So for a standard full sail, that's in around €5, €5.50, depending if you're looking between Galway and Dublin.
Yeah.
And our double IPA comes in 2/3 glass, and that's $4.75, $5.20, depending on which pub it's being sold in.
So you're charging about the same as we're charging here. If you're talking euros, same thing. Yeah, about the same as we're doing.
Good
here.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're probably paying more in terms of hops to get. We're buying all the hops from you guys. So.
I bet. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I want to talk about hops that you're buying from us. Cost will be interesting to find out about. But I wanted to ask you another question too, because you mentioned at university that you obviously that you started homebrewing, and I'm curious if that's common. Were there a lot of homebrewers around you, or was that sort of an exception that you got into it?
Well, for me personally, it was like I like beer, can't afford it, so I started brewing. But the homebrewing scene in Ireland is incredible.
Oh, good.
I think the National Homebrew Club competition is one of the biggest in Europe.
Fantastic!
Wow.
So it's incredible. Even the brewers in the industry have a lot to learn from the homebrewers in the country at the moment, because the homebrewers in Ireland are really on the ball with what they're coming up with, and I personally have learned a lot from discussing with homebrewers that come into the brew pub and talk to me, and it's a good relationship we have with them.
And has it always been that way in Ireland, or is it just sort of the trend that we're seeing here too, where homebrewing has just become popular?
Anytime I talk, when you're sitting with the family, there's always this story that comes up that my granddad made beer in a bathtub and no one could bath for a substantial amount of time. So everyone has this story in the family that,
good.
Or even back home, there's some guy who can modify an old scrap car that was fit to make what the Irish equivalent of moonshine is. So, of course, there's always an underground production facility.
See, I have been waiting for this answer because we're very proud of our homebrewing here in the U.S. and I've been waiting to interview somebody from another country who goes, "Yeah, fuck off. We've been doing this for centuries now. We've been homebrewing. It's a family thing. This is what we do."
Yeah.
Well, if you want to replicate a Yorkshire Square, what else are you going to use but your bathtub, right? It just happens. That's what it is.
A whole bathtub. Nobody gets to bathe this month, kids. We're running low on homebrew.
And if we get a stuck ferment, it's going to be another month.
That's right. Yeah.
You could throw the youngest family member into the bath to rouse the yeast.
There
as
you
well.
go.
Hey, kid, rouse the yeast.
Goo-goo. Stop drinking. Derek's drinking all the beer.
Yeah, you're there for one task.
The baby is sinking more than usual, so I think the beer is attenuating.
Yeah.
That's your hydrometer.
Can't afford one.
The high babyer.
All right, I have to ask some stereotypical questions. I hope you knew this was coming.
How red is your hair?
Right.
How pale is your skin?
Yeah.
I'm dark brown hair, blue eyes, but my hair is going grey.
Okay, already.
Ruggedly handsome, I'm sure.
Oh, of course, yes. I was told to tell you guys, just to pull your legs, that we actually employ 13 leprechauns on site. Yeah,
of course.
That's a secret.
Well, that's racist. Let's come on.
And there's no point drawing into stereotypes, is there?
13 leprechauns and 10 gingers.
Yeah, and they throw potatoes at me twice a day.
You send them to find the pot of gold and you got to pay the bills. It's cool.
There is at least one ginger person working for us in the brewery.
There we go.
See? Stereotypes are real, folks. All right, my question actually was, a lot of times when I ask young American brewers, I ask them how they're, especially those who have gone to college and then they get into brewing, I ask, how do your parents feel about that after spending all that money on molecular biology for you to go to a great school? But for you, I'm actually genuinely asking, how proud are your parents that you're going into brewing?
Very sincerely proud, I think, because I basically started, I came straight from finishing my finals in June 2012 and starting work in July 2012. So in between that, the brewery started in 2009, and the previous head brewer had handed in his resignation, and the directors of the company were under pressure to find a replacement. And my CV fell in at the right time at the right place, and they took a chance on me, which meant I did 3 days work with the previous brewer.
Really?
Literally 3 days brewing, which is perfect. Third day, the previous brewer hands the key to me, says, "Best of luck, I'm out of here."
Wow!
I literally don't know how to clean a keg, don't know how to transfer, but Google was my friend for the first few weeks.
I love it. Yeah,
and it was perfect. I didn't learn any bad habits. I formed my own, and got from. I think the way our company is set up, we have. We had 6 bars at this stage. The company was essentially started with pubs that serve craft beer specifically, which was a very brave move to make in Ireland, which is primarily lagers and stouts and of the macro variety. So when I started, we were making 3 products for 6 bars. And then that grew from July 2012 to between July 2013, we got from to 5 products for 9 bars, and we moved into a new brewery in July 2013, and that allowed us to start bottling. And just past, the weekend past, we brewed our first beer in our newest facility. So I've been working with the company for 2 years, and I'm just after starting brewing in my 3rd brew house with them. So
all right,
we're growing very fast.
We got to go. First of all, that's just, you're growing fast if you were an experienced brewer, for lack of a better term. You're getting your experience on the way there, it sounds like. But let me just back up real quick. So you say you dropped off your resume that just happened to be at the time that their brewer was getting out of there. He was quitting.
But funnily enough, I was handing in my resume for bar work in one of the bars.
Okay.
So,
but what was on it? Like something brewing related was on the resume? Because it clearly wasn't that you had worked in other breweries.
Of course, I think it was a combination of my sincere homebrew passion, my passion for beer, and then all the weird and wonderful traveling I've done for research. I did a 5-month placement in Switzerland on studying biolubricants, which that takes a certain kind of passion that I think the guys that hired me, they saw right through and they said, "This is a guy we want to make beer for us."
Wow. That is lucky and fortuitous for you.
Yeah.
And did you know that it was going to be just a couple of few days training? Did you know the guy was leaving?
No, it was that first 3-6 months was a blur. I just can't believe it.
Cocaine will do that.
Yeah.
Got to stay up.
Yeah. A lot of work to be done. I bet it was a blur. So guy trains you for 3 days. He goes, look, here's the valve. You turn it over here. You push the button over here. The mash rakes move. The liquid goes this way. And then good luck. That's your training.
That's my training, but there was very little automation. Like mash rakes is no more mash rakes than it is a big mash paddle in my hands.
Okay.
It's very basic, but I think if anything breaks, not everything's fixable with a pipe wrench and a bit of tape. So
it
works perfectly for me.
Now, if I'm handed this gig, there's two things are going on. For one,
you're crying.
I'm terrified. I'm seriously terrified.
Oh, yeah.
But I have the personality that I'm not going to, like, I want this gig. And I'm just going to go about like, oh, I can do this. Yeah, no problem. So I'm going to keep saying to the owners, no problem. I got this. But inside, I'm fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Did you ever say to them, hey, guys, I don't know that you picked the right, like, this is crazy that I don't know what I'm doing?
No, I'd never let them know that.
Attaboy. It's worked out well for you. So you got to fake it till you make it.
That's right.
Yeah. And now our beers are rating very well with all the beer nerds. I think that's we're very happy with what we're coming out with. Ireland's industry was up until just this last year. We were playing it very safe, and there was a lot of, I don't know, like gateway beers. So brewers were making a lot of beers that would be the next step from taking away from macro style beers. But that meant that was a bit short sighted. That everyone was basically doing the same. So as soon as someone would come off this macro beer, they'd try an Irish craft beer, and then they'd have nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
So they'd go on to the very expensive American imports, and then that's where I fell across the right time in the right place, and that's what I wanted to drink, and that's what I wanted to brew. So that's where I took off, and
beautiful. And they gave you the freedom to do that. They just said, you're the guy. Go for it.
Yeah.
That's lovely, man. That's a good job.
It's a fairy tale.
All right, let's talk about... seriously, this is a great gig.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a beer in our glass right now that we should talk about. Let the folks at home know. We're drinking the Stormy Port, which is listed on the bottle here as an Irish porter.
Mm-hmm. That aroma is amazing.
It's got a wonderful aroma.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, JP's a big fan of this style of beer. So
dark beers all the way, man.
Yeah.
I love them.
The label looks great also. You guys do a good job there. But yeah, the beer, the aroma, the taste, this is a fantastic beer. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so the current iteration of Stormy Port is very different from the Stormy Port that existed when I started. So when I started, it was 4.8%, and it was very English and very bland. And it stayed like that for a lot longer than it should have. So because it was rated high, I think it was 22 in the top 50, and it stayed there consistently. But as soon as I started pushing out more beers, we started to see the sale of that beer tail off. So I thankfully got the chance to revise the recipe, and the timing of that revision came just after us brewing the Imperial Stout that we brewed. And I learned a lot in terms of what I can do with malt and combinations of malt. So basically, when it came to revising the Stormy Port, I almost had the let's make a session Imperial Stout hat on me, and that's essentially what I tried to shoot for. So there's a big aromatic malt in there, and just a great blend of dark malts, and all the hops, we add them in first wort, so it's a very easy brew to make. So we mash in, get the wort over to the kettle, throw in our hops, and then do whatever 100,000 jobs we have to do around the brewery while it fills up.
And that's it. So you mean you don't put in a 60-minute hop and a late hop addition? Everything is just as you're literally filling the kettle?
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting. Now, would you call it an Irish porter?
I think that was a leap upon our marketing. I don't know really what an Irish porter is, but I guess if someone's to coin the term, I hope it'd be us. But
sure,
I think it's more styled after a robust porter.
Okay. I would give it that. JP, what do you think about robust porter? Although, is a robust porter stronger in alcohol? I don't know. You do.
I think so. Right, Nate, help me out because I think it's a little bit has a little bit more body and a little more hop, a little more
exactly.
oomph.
You get to maybe about 6% alcohol, a little bit hoppier, but this definitely has the porter balance in terms of malt flavor. You're getting a lot of chocolate and
you get a lot
vanilla and licorice, and not a heavily acrid roasted quality.
Exactly, you get a lot of the deeper dark malt flavors without the acrid nonsense that a lot of people It takes a soft hand to make a beer like this. It
I
really
like
does.
a soft hand.
Cheers. Me too. I'm sure you use a lot of lotion, Chris, right? Like you're a lotion guy?
My hands look like Bigfoot's arse. There's cuts all over the place. So.
All right, then.
This does not have to be higher alcohol. The style guide says 4.8 to 6.5.
Okay. So it's right at the bottom if it were a robust porter.
For a robust porter?
I would call it that, too. I mean, it's robust.
Well, it's got a great mouthfeel to it as well.
May I please have some of that in my cage?
Oh, yeah. By the way,
there's
Bevo,
no more, Bevo. Sorry.
I did mean to ask you, how's the accent working out?
It's working out okay.
It's working good, huh?
Can he please say Bigfoot's arse again?
Yeah. Bevo's having a good time.
Is that a direct request?
From JP.
Yes.
You wait for Bevo to ask if I were you.
Okay.
Yeah.
She took my beer, by the way. I got misled for my beer.
What about the hops in this beer?
I thought you were giving it to me.
It's Willamette and Northern Brewer. I don't know the percentage between each other, but I think it airs upon the Northern Brewer mostly for the bitterness and then a touch of Willamette, but it's all added as the kettle's filling.
I'm seeing 31 IBUs on your website here.
Yeah.
That's
what we shoot for.
Okay. GalwayBayBrewery.com, by the way, folks at home. GalwayBayBrewery.com. You can check it out. And they do a nice job of listing not only all their beers, but then giving you some real details about them. First, there's a description. Then, if you happen to be in Ireland, they'll give you an availability report. Then there are the technical details. Well, they'll give you the types of malts. So you have listed here roasted barley, brown, and some crystal. What crystal is it that you use?
Crystal 80 Lovey Bund.
Okay, got it.
So fairly dark.
Which maltster? From which maltster?
Most of what we get specialty wise is Simpson's malt in the UK.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can get that in the States.
Oh yeah. This is America, Chris. We can get whatever we want.
That's
dude.
right.
Oh yeah.
Mainly freedom.
Well, except for occasionally freedom.
Well, that's true.
So what's your process there? This beer has a fair amount of melanoidin character, I think.
Sorry?
This beer that I'm drinking has a fair amount of melanoidin character.
Right.
What is your process? You just use single infusion, or are you doing steps?
Single infusion. So our mash tun is basically just engineered to keep hold temperature, and we can't raise. So
I see.
We do have an insanely massive mash tun, whereas we have like a 17-barrel kettle, and we have a mash tun that's probably kitted out for a 20, 21, 22 barrel. So we could, if we felt the need to add boiling water, we could do steep mash, but at the moment all of our brews are single infusion.
And your boil length, how long do you boil?
For this beer, it's 60 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Is that American minutes or?
That's
thanks for converting that
Irish
for us.
minutes.
Irish minutes, yeah.
Which God knows what that could be. It could be 10 years. We don't know.
They're sort of like imperial minutes, but you got to translate.
Right.
All we know
Multiply
is-
by 0.9. I get it now.
All I know is that they're very oppressed. Every minute is very oppressed. So it takes a long time to get through 60 minutes in Ireland.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's a wonderful beer that you've produced here.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish you had sent more already.
I do too.
Tasty. Northern Brewer is a go-to hop for you. Do you
Is
get
this
a lot of-
the German Northern Brewer, I assume, right? Chris?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So a different deal than what you
A
normally
little bit
get.
different effect here, yeah.
Gotcha.
So how about on the fermentation side? Where are you getting yeast from?
So the yeast is English ale yeast, and at the moment we're growing up cultures from Lanneman. So we use the the Nottingham yeast.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good yeast, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of underrated.
It's a
I think, too.
workhorse. It turns over very fast.
How many generations will you use before you get another pitch?
If we're using dried, we'll use fresh the whole time just for peace of mind.
Okay.
But on our smaller pilot kits, we tend to harvest just to keep the cost down.
Got it. And how many barrels? So you said you just expanded. How many barrels is the new brewery?
So we're using the same kit that we bought just a year ago, but we have the floor space now to add more and more tanks. We're starting to do double batches. Our first brew happened there Saturday, and we did 4,000 litres of our IPA, which is a big volume for us. But
and this is to supply, if I heard it right in the beginning, like 6 locations?
No, at the moment it's so the way our distribution it works out that we have 9 pubs tied in with the company, and all our draft beer is sold through those 9 pubs, and that's the only place you can get our beer on draft. So we get to hold the quality of our draft beer is insanely high, and our turnover of kegs is less than 2 weeks, which is right where I want it to be.
Yeah.
But then bottling comes in. So to get into bottling, we had to get a fairly basic bottling line, but it got our foot in the door, and it's led to us buying another bottling line, which I'll mention later. But bottles, basically, we go through by choice, we go through a third-party distribution because they have the sales reps and everything, and the network worked out. So literally, when we fill our beers, it gets picked up by the distributor, and it's on market that evening if it needs to be, which is kind of the case with our full sale. We can't keep up with the demand at the moment, hence the new brew space.
Okay. And at the 9 locations, is it only Galway Bay beer or other beers?
Oh, no. We're very we're well known, especially in our Dublin locations, being the capital of Ireland. We've got a very impressive selection of beers, and there's I think we average out at about 30 taps per bar.
Wow.
With an insane selection of bottles and an insane selection of whiskies and some cigars, that kind of crack. So we're very into the fine living.
That's fantastic.
Sounds like I'm going to do a crowdsourcing thing to get Jason to Ireland, which is one of the few places I would like to go, England and Ireland.
Oh, yeah?
Because they speak English.
I see. Do they?
Not very well.
But they don't in Australia.
They don't in Australia.
They don't. No, they speak some sort of gibberish.
I see.
Some Aboriginal gibberish.
Now, is the 30 taps that you mentioned, is that becoming commonplace in places like Dublin now, too, or is that still exceptional?
It's to the point it's still exceptional, but there's more pubs trying it and chancing their arm. Like, it's at this stage in Ireland, it's still a pub chances his arm to be solely devoted to craft beer.
Yeah.
Because there's still an insane market for the likes of the terrible light beer that you send over to our country for whatever reason.
Sure.
Hey, if you didn't drink it, we wouldn't send it. All right, homeboy?
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know.
What is and what would be the major brand that does? Are we all the brands here doing it? Is it Bud Light and Miller Lite? And is it all of our light shitty beer or just one brand?
I wouldn't say all.
Yeah.
But we get to see the Big B and the Coors as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't Budweiser like the number one import over there?
I think it's actually brewed in Dublin to really add insult to injury as well.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Kick us out, man. Fuck that. That's bad news right there. Well, it's cool to hear. It sounds like
beer's good.
It's like it's time to go to Ireland.
I really want to go to Ireland.
You have
There's
to
no
idea.
idea.
We're more than accommodating to show a few American guys around to see how we've ripped you guys off.
Serious, that's fine. We're the land of ripping off, man. That's fine. This whole beer thing that we've become good at is ripping off.
No, it's a melting pot. It sounds much more gentle. Chris, you should organize a homebrew thing, and we'll come out there and do our stuff.
I think. If anyone, there's probably going to be a lot of Irish homebrewers listening to this podcast just by chance now. So if you can get it organised and to visit for their next massive competition, that's some great fun.
I would take a month and just see some soccer games, tour around. Oh, I can't wait.
No, you
I can't wait. You would not. I totally would.
Here's the
totally would.
Here's the sad truth. What'll happen is this is all true. Everything Chris is saying.
Yeah.
Nathan will get the invite.
Yes.
Everyone will be like,
that is more accurate.
Hey, Nate, so would you come out?
Just like
more accurate.
And I'm pretty Irish, too. I'd probably fit right in over there.
Oh, God, I can't wait.
I'm not going to say no.
Yeah,
I'm all about
Nate's
it.
like, well, JP, well, fuck it. Yeah, I'll go.
I'm just going to throw this out there that I've always also liked to.
Shut up. You said that about Australia, and then you bailed out on that.
I've never said that. I'm at least true. I know who I am, right? I know I would never make it to Australia, but Ireland, I would definitely go do that.
That's an easy
It's
trip.
all about.
I'm pretty sure the flight's like
That
nearly
was
as
rude.
long.
No, because I would stay in New York for like 2 years and then fly over.
yeah. I see.
Getting up courage.
You just don't use enough dopey East Bay old man slang. That's what they want to hear. That's why they invite me. That's why they invite me. They want to hear that shit.
Yeah, because Nate says hella sick.
Exactly.
Well, it's hella sick. I mean, he's not wrong.
There you go. You're on the right track.
So, Chris, I'm curious about this beer lineup at 30 Taps. I mean, what's going on there? What would I find there? What would I
Good
be
question.
surprised? What would I be surprised to find?
It's ever changing. What do we have? We have Founders Rubaeus. We get All Day IPA, which actually comes out very fresh. What else do we have? A lot of fantastic UK breweries. The likes of Magic Rock have just hit the country. What else?
Sounds like we'd get a lot of stuff we've not tasted.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff that you wouldn't have tasted.
That's
as well.
great.
I'm just saying, I get a lot from UK. How about like any beers from
Germany? We got
Sweden?
some stuff. At the moment, we have in probably my favorite pub, aside from being part of the company, is the Salt House in Galway. It's fantastic. It's the best place ever to be. But they actually have Boone from Boone Oud Goose on draft, which is I think probably the first sour properly on draft for us. So we're very excited for that.
Excellent.
I'm just picturing Justin in your bar perusing the menu, and about 2 minutes later he goes, "You guys have Pale 31?"
I'll just take a pale ale, please. Thank you.
Chris, do you ever get any beers from Brewdog?
Oh yeah. We get a lot of Brewdog stuff over here.
We were talking about ripping people off. That made me think of them.
Do you pour it down the drain when you get it, or do you actually sell it?
I don't think we sell it very often in our pubs anymore because it works out at about €7 a pint with our margins marked up. So that's crazy money.
Yeah, it's expensive beer.
Factoring that's more expensive than most American imports, and it only has to come a spitting distance across the sea. So
that's a tough sell.
That's tough.
Wow. Tough sell, yeah. But at the same time, their small batch stuff is very interesting.
Yeah,
and they've definitely put they've helped forge an interest in craft beer even in Ireland.
And here as well, actually.
Yeah,
so that's a good point.
No doubt about that.
Yeah,
they're good hype builders.
That's right. We had them on the show years ago. They were a fun interview too. Yeah. And now they're doing the tour across America TV show.
Sure, you'd get lost with their accents. They're fantastic.
Yeah. All right, I got to take a quick break, Chris, but we're going to do that. We're going to come back, and we're going to try it. We've got 3 more of your beers to try. We're going to do it all when we come back. Is that cool by you?
100%.
Excellent. Hang in there. We're talking to Chris Traynor. He's from Galway Bay Brewery in Ireland, and we're having a good time tasting these beers. Wonderful tasting beers. So hang in there. It's the session, and we'll be right back. 888-401-BEER if you want to ask questions, or hit the chat button on the homepage. Hang in there.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping.
Well, yeah, but...
the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. The distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot. And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the Style Profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Home Brewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your home brew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew.
Tonight is the night.
We bring the creature to life, Dr. Blickmanstein?
Yes, J.P. Gore. Everything is perfect for my next fermented creation.
My father, the storm is too far away. We'll never have enough power to isomerize the creature's alpha acid.
Yes, J.P. Gore, we will. For I have in my possession the Tower of Power.
Blickman's new Tower of Power is the evolution of automation. Control hot liquor, sparge, and mash temps like a pro. The Tower of Power is a high-quality gas-fired rim system that works with your current brewing setup. With ultra-precision, the tower can hold your mash to 1/2 of a degree Fahrenheit. Precision and repeatability. The Tower of Power is the answer to automatic, fast ramp times. See more at BlickmanEngineering.com. Bring your next creation to life with the Tower of Power.
Dr. Blickmanstein, with the Tower of Power, you can probably give me an afternoon at the pub to enjoy a pint.
Don't be silly, J.P. Gore. We have beer to brew.
The best thing to happen to brewer's yeast in a century is from White Labs. For pro brewers and home brewers, yeast in the new Pure Pitch package powered by FlexCell technology redefines how fresh your yeast can really be. That's because your yeast is cultured, grown, and delivered all in the same Pure Pitch package. It's never been transferred and never been exposed to the environment. Pure Pitch is powered by White Labs' proprietary FlexCell container, which took 6 years to develop and is designed to be the best home your yeast has ever traveled in. Just cut open a Pure Pitch package and pitch the purest yeast possible. Learn more about Pure Pitch, powered by FlexCell technology, at whitelabs.com. And while you're there, sign up for one of the many great classes White Labs offers, like Yeast Essentials 2.0, coming up August 22nd and 23rd, or any one of their great workshops for brewers, distillers, and vintners. Pure Pitch from White Labs. 6 years to develop, refine, and perfect. 2 seconds to open.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, the proud owner here at Keystone Homebrew Supply. We're thrilled to be entering our 20th year of supplying this great industry. And to show you, the Brewing Network Army, how much we appreciate your support, we're offering you 10% off your first order on our website, KeystoneHomebrew.com. Just use coupon code BNARMY at checkout, and I'll get your order out the same day. My goal at Keystone Homebrew Supply has always been to have a complete supply of everything a brewer could want. When you place your order online or when you come into our store, it's our goal to have everything on your list and more. One aspect of KeystoneHomebrew.com that we're really excited about is the ability to fulfill customers' exact grain bills. Do you hate to wait? Keystone Homebrew Supply can get your precious yeast and hops to you within just 1 day if you live between Connecticut and Virginia, and within 2 days east of the Mississippi. KeystoneHomebrew.com. Coupon code BNARMY. I'm Jason Harris, and I approve this message.
Segmented, demented, fermented.
It's the session.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us. Chris Trainer from Galway Bay Brewery is on the line with us right now, and we're tasting a little bit more of the beer, which is fun. Jokes are being sent in from the chat room.
Oh, it's a good one, too.
Yeah?
Please read it.
Do you want to read it, JP?
I can read it.
We had a joke sent in for you, Chris.
Lovely.
All right, here we go. JP, go ahead.
Should I do it in a really irritating Irish accent? No, I'll just do it in my American one.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, you must be Irish, 'cause my penis is Dublin.
That's terrible.
That is terrible.
It makes no sense. Why, if you're Irish, why is my penis Irish?
I don't know.
Yeah, the capital, whatever.
Well, that's what happens here on the show. When
But I laughed real hard.
Listeners participate.
You're welcome.
Tom Scottson writes in, too, though. He has a question for you. He's writing in from Pittsburgh, and he wants to know, what was your worst brewing disaster there at Galway?
Jeez, we've had, I think, our whole brewery is an entire disaster, just functioning day by day. But
it's like our life.
It's like every brewery.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah, the first what comes to mind straight off is we brewed this really stellar saison, New World saison with Belma hops, and it was incredible with Mosaic dry hop on it. And we babysat it right through fermentation, and it got straight to the bright tank. And we actually had I think it was guys from Speakeasy, California. They were paying visit in
nice.
In Ireland, and they were the first non-workers in the brewery to taste it, and they were like, "Oh, wow, this is an incredibly clean saison with a brilliant hop bite." So he was really impressed.
Yeah.
It leaves the brewery, and we were all chuffed. Oh, the American folk really love our saison. Not 10 minutes later, we're moving a pallet, and we break off the sample valve. So the bright tank is sitting under insane pressure. So the first thing we do is jump in at the old Dutchman, plug in the hole in the dam. That happens. So we're holding this bright tank under pressure, and luckily enough, we had a fermentation vessel sitting on a sanitizer. So we drained that and transferred purged it and transferred beer over, and we ended up saving the beer. But there was a good 45 minutes where everyone in the brewery was fairly stressed at switching over, trying to hold all the beer in this pressurized bright tank.
Oh, I believe it. That's fucked up.
But we saved the beer, and it was a once-off pilot range, and now it's becoming part of our core range. So that's always going to be a story when people ask, "Oh, so how did this beer come to fruition?"
Yeah, well, I feel like now you have to break off the sample port
every time.
Yeah, it's part of the deal. You could have the new one ready to go right back in, but
but ceremonially, ceremony would dictate that the sample valve will have to be broken off by a pallet.
You have to have the crowd stand there with the glasses ready when you break it off, and they can all get some.
It's publicized, man.
How do you decide which beers that you brew one off become regular rotation?
It's simplicity would dictate that in terms of, how did it sell? And if there's a gap in our portfolio for even like Saison wouldn't be a massive seller volume-wise, but there's a definite gap in our market, and there's a definite our portfolio, and then there's a gap in the market to do that. So we decided this is going to be part of our portfolio, and it's nice to add a beer to the range that's not going to stress our production. Like, we can take away one brew a month, gets all our keg volume sorted. So it's a nice beer to have on the core range. Whereas if we were to add another IPA, we'd be stressing brewing it twice a week. So we don't need that pressure at the moment.
Sure.
You think it's going to be low stress until it takes off, and then you have to brew a bunch of it. Because it sounds awesome.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorite beers, and the Belma hop. I don't know if you've ever brewed with it, but try it in a saison. Holy moly!
I think Pilsner malt and a little bit of esters. That hop shines very well.
Yeah.
What have you used it in, Nate?
Kolsch and saison in particular.
Yep.
It's really great in both of those. That's a hop that's really available to homebrewers right now too, and it's very cheap.
Yeah. Well, we probably pay more than you guys, so
cheap is relative.
Cheap is a relative term.
It's relatively cheap, yeah.
Well, you want to make our beers, you got to pay the price.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
All right, in our glass now is Buried at Sea Chocolate Milk Stout. Now, my opinion is that this one is even better than the last one.
Fantastic.
I like this beer. Tell us about this one.
This one, this was actually, when I started, this was my first proper sit down, blank piece of paper, make a beer kind of thing.
Okay.
So everything about this beer came from me, Buried at Sea, the name itself, and just the idea. So chocolate is a flavour that I love, but I find that, especially in the beers that we get in our home market, anything that has chocolate in it instantly connects the connotation of, this is going to be a sickly, heavy dessert kind of beer. So I wanted to use that flavour in a beneficial, light, refreshing kind of way, and that fitted perfectly with my idea of brewing a sweet stout or milk stout on top of that. So the chocolate is actually a combination of chocolate malt and then addition of chocolate in the last 15 minutes of the boil, and of course the sweetness from the lactose, and then fermentation with our English ale yeast.
I love it.
Awesome mouthfeel.
Yeah. And it's only 4.5%, so perfect for drinking more of if you feel the need.
Yeah. And it's not, it's got a nice lactic flavor to it, but it's not very sweet, which that's a big deal for me, because I like chocolate too, but I do not like sweets. I don't eat candy. But I like the flavor of chocolate. So when you do it well in a beer like this, where you get a bit of that, but it's not too sweet.
Whenever we see a customer coming up the top, they read it and they're like, "Ooh, chocolate beef stout," but then they try it and it's completely different from what they first envisaged.
Because unlike the porter, it has that really specific roasted barley character as well. That kind of centers the whole thing. It got this little bit of highly roasted ash-like, really highly roasted quality. It's great.
Yeah. Are you going to give us a recipe for this? I have in my notes that we might actually even get a recipe out of you.
Yeah, I can send you in the right direction, of course.
Oh, that would be sweet if you could do that, because this is a nice beer I think people would like to make. And this is the Nottingham yeast too, as well?
Yes.
Yep, okay.
So, original gravity, you're shooting for, it ends up post-boil, considering the lactose is 1060. So before the lactose addition, I think lactose adds 7 points. So it's 1053, and then that would ferment out at 1025. So you're mashing in at around, I think I have the Fahrenheit, 153.5.
Okay. For
an hour, or depending whenever your mash finishes.
Give it in Celsius too for your Irish fans.
Oh, for 67.5 degrees Celsius.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. So the malt bill is 65% pale ale, Maris Otter, 9% chocolate, 5% flake barley, 5% brown, 4% pale crystal, so around 40 or 50, whatever you can get hold of. Vienna, 6%, 4 malted oats, and 2 roasted barley. And then lactose, I have it worked out at 23 grams per litre, added in the last 20 minutes of the boil.
Can I stop you there just real quick?
Sorry?
No, it's okay. How do you choose where to put the lactose in? Why does it go in the boil?
I took the decision on that in terms of sanitization. Essentially, I throw the lactose in. I know peace of mind is there. It's in the beer, and I'm not contributing anything after the fact in terms of infection.
Sure. And I only ask because I'm not familiar with it. Tasty, Nate, Jay, any of you guys? Typically is that the process that lactose should go in the boil?
Well, if you know it's a sterile product, you might as well just. I think you could put it into the fermenter,
But if you don't know that,
just 10 minutes wouldn't hurt it at all.
I always done it near the end. Yeah, exactly. 10, 15 minutes.
I would question how well it dissolved just adding it straight to the fermenter.
Okay.
So that's another issue. Like if we were to add it to the fermenter, we'd end up having to make a tea with it anyway, to dissolve it in a set amount of liquid. So. Essentially, I added into the kettle to avoid the necessity of doing that regularly, to work out the volumes of how much water I'm adding and how much lactose is being dissolved. It's a hell of a lot easier just to add it in the kettle.
So it's in powder form then?
Yes, exactly.
And that's for homebrewers as well?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only reason we talk about maybe adding it into the fermenter would be that, like, sometimes when you're adding sugars, you might consider putting it in the fermenter to kick the fermentation up when the yeast start to slow down. But that not being an issue, I might as well put all the sugar in the boil.
So it is very much a fermentable sugar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Well, no, it's not actually.
Lactose
It stays back. It stays behind, actually.
Yeah, mouthfeel and such. It's not
bodybuilding and
it's
mouthfeel.
not a fermentable. Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Lactose would be very different from the sucrose kind of sugars. It wouldn't have the same type of sweetness.
Got it. Okay. Okay, carry on. Just wanted to know about that part.
Okay, where was I? The hops. Did I mention hops? Yeah, so hops, you're shooting for 34 IBUs with a single addition at 60 minutes of Magnum, Warrior, anything that's clean, bittering hops. Chocolate as well for what's a 19-litre volume. So I think that's, 5 gallons?
I have no idea.
What's the standard?
19-litre,
it's the standard homebrew length.
Then 5 gallons.
It's 5
gallons. Yeah. So for a 5-gallon batch, we'll add 300 grams of what we use is organic chocolate powder, and we add that in. It's got the least amount of crap in it, and we add for a 5-gallon batch, you're adding 300 grams of this chocolate powder, or whatever you can get. Feel free to experiment.
Good.
And then fermented English ale yeast, 20 degrees for, what's 20 degrees? Is it 60 odd Fahrenheit?
Ish.
9.5.
I don't know.
You're all right. Keep going.
This is the
so
sound
it's
of
fermented at 20 degrees, let it attenuate, and then conditioned for 4 to 5 weeks. That's what we get to give it.
In primary?
We primary vessels, so we get to drop our yeast and keep it in, so you can rack to secondary after primary and then condition for 4 to 5 weeks if you have the time.
Okay, got it. You condition it for a while.
Yeah. None of our beers are fined or filtered.
Okay.
So we have it set in stone that all the beers are lagered for that extra length of time.
I like that. On the homebrew side, that's not uncommon, but on the professional side, that's a bit
awesome.
lengthy, isn't it, Nate?
It takes the extra time to make it
really
give that conditioning. Every beer benefits from that, I feel.
Oh, of course, yes.
And what is the temperature of that conditioning?
We can get down to 2 degrees, but typically if we can hold it at 5 to 6 degrees, we're happy with the stouts.
That's nice. So do you you have enough? Apparently, you have enough tank space to do that, to let them all sit.
We do, but it's getting stressful now as demand grows. But we're deciding that we're truly holding to our guns and adding more tanks with the new brewing space. So
yeah. Are they staying in your fermenters, or do you have bright tanks that you move them to?
So before the beer leaves, of course, we have the bright tanks, and we do our final sensory analysis and carbonation.
But that's not. They don't sit in those for 4 to 5 weeks. They sit in the fermenter.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, the fermenter.
And this will lead up to something I think we're going to discuss here in a minute. Do you also dry hop at fermentation temp or at the crash or lower temp?
So it's changeable. So for all our dry hop additions, they happen in 2 stages. So for the likes of our full sail, it has a dry hop. So after fermentation, it happens at around 20 degrees. We'll slowly drop the temperature to around 16 degrees, and we'll add our first. We have to be truly anal about dropping the temperature, because if we drop it too fast, we get a chill haze that'll add an extra 2 weeks that we cannot afford to conditioning.
That's interesting.
So after the first, after it drops slowly to 16 degrees, we add our first addition of dry hops. That'll rest for 5 days, and then our second addition of dry hops go in for after 3 days, and then we'll drop the dry hops and then try to get the beer as fast to packaging as soon as possible once it's ready.
Have you guys heard of that before, where the time that a beer is crashed affects the chill haze?
No,
because that's an interesting comment that Chris makes.
You still drop out.
Well, go ahead.
It's the speed of the chilling.
That's what I mean. So how fast you get it to it, right?
Yeah. So if we were to truly crash our beer, we're finding that we're forming a protein haze that just never drops. So, it drops, but you have to really give it the time. So we find it just works perfectly if we drop it gradually. That when it's going from 20 to 16 degrees, we'll literally drop it by a degree every 2 days until it's at 16. And then it's at 16, we'll drop it by a degree in the morning, a degree in the evening, and then so on and so forth, and until we get to conditioning temperature.
Interesting. Now, was that taught to you in your 3 days of training, or have you figured that out?
This is part of the bad habits that I've formed myself. Yeah.
Because that's to figure out that was the thing causing chill haze, I find fascinating. That you go, hey, I don't know, why don't we try this? Why don't we slow down the pace that we crash at? Was that advice from anybody, or?
I don't know where that came from. It could be partially advice, could be partially, well, let's try this, and then it's seeing that it's worked and it's continually worked, so we kept it like that.
Yeah. Now it's officially advice from Chris from Galway Bay.
That's right, to the rest of us. Yeah.
So we're talking about the Nottingham yeast?
No, for our
USO5?
IPAs. For IPAs, we're using USO5.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
but with the new brew house, we'll have a lot of we'll have our lab up and running properly, and with that lab, we'll have yeast propagation and yeast management. So we'll definitely make the move to liquid cultures and go further out with the likes of our saison. That was our first true attempt at dealing with liquid cultures, and it wasn't nearly as bad as we first envisaged. So we're going to make that move gradually as soon as we can find the manpower and enough hours in the day to manage that properly.
Well, just as an aside, if I had that problem, I think I wouldn't crash. I leave it at 20 centigrade or 68 Fahrenheit for a longer period of time and let it, crash at the warmer temperature, and then then start dropping it while I think that protein would drop out at the warmer temperature.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the only concern I'd have if it was held at that temperature, if there was any off flavors from the yeast, because this could be a fair stress on the yeast.
It takes a long time to develop yeast off flavors.
Okay.
So do it different, Chris.
Well, apparently it's working. Actually,
Irish dummy.
Put some in a flask or something and see how it does. Just do a test.
Compare clarity. Yeah.
There you go.
When you say it would take a long time for yeast off flavors, like how long are you talking?
I don't know, like 5 or 6 extra weeks. It might start like autolysis kind of things.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we've
talked
about
some of that. Start eating
that.
themselves, and that's
Yeah, where the cells themselves start breaking down. If they're at that temperature, it's going to take a long time.
Take a long time, yeah.
Okay. All right, the beer in our glass now. I believe we have your Imperial IPA.
It's a double IPA, Justin.
Now, this is what sort of was brought to our attention with Galway Bay. Is you guys doing kind of... Actually, I have a question whether they're American style or English style, but we'll get to that. But you sent us a dry hopped IPA and an Imperial IPA. We went straight for the Imperial IPA here on the show, just for the sake of time. We've got a Foam and Fury double IPA, is actually Moscow's right. It's what's listed on the bottle. 8.5%. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
I don't have my old man glasses on, so I can't. So tell us about the beer. Curious. I do know that it's full of American hops, but was it meant to be an American double IPA or an English IPA, or just tell me what the impetus was for the beer?
Yeah, where Ireland was very, very thirsty for a fresh IPA, like double IPA with the American spin on it. So that was my attempt at this. So we used in the recipe, we have Galena, Chinook, Pacific Jade from New Zealand, Simcoe, and a bit of Mosaic to cover up some of the Simcoe shortages that we're finding.
Nice. You went for it.
Yeah. And it's very expensive.
I bet it is.
When it was formulating the recipe, I went to the powers that be and said, I'm going to make you an insanely good beer, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. So
the likes of what, 3 to 4 times what a normal beer would cost you there?
For us, yeah.
Okay.
Especially considering the ABV and just the hops and the amount of malt that we're using.
Well, the taxes as well. Yeah.
And the tax, yeah.
It wasn't even a hard sell? They just
what did they say?
Go for it?
Yeah.
Well, at this stage, I had created a few winners. So I think the leash was loosened. So they said, right, we'll try it.
Yeah,
and,
it's a good time to cash in.
Let the kid run.
Yeah, let this kid go. So we brewed the first batch, and the paranoid brewer in me went out and was, oh no, it's too sweet. Oh, so I bought like an insane amount of dextrose for the second batch. But when the first batch went to sale, it was insanely well received, and that's continued on. So I haven't changed the recipe since the first brew.
Beautiful.
And currently it's #1 in Ireland in rate beer.
There we go.
That's fantastic. Well, first of all, congratulations. That's
Cheers.
You took a risk and you did it, so that's pretty fantastic.
Real nice beer.
What does a pint go for over the counter?
We don't sell it by the pint. We sell it in 2/3 glass, just to highlight that this beer demands a bit of respect.
Yeah.
And it sells from $4.75 to $5.25.
Yeah, you said that. Okay, yeah.
We would have done the same with it here. If we bought a keg of this from you, we would have done it in the we did a 10-ounce glass. That's how we would have done it, and about the same price. So I think that was a smart move. And you're right. It's to show a little respect to the beer. 8.5%, and the cost to make it, obviously. Now, so I'm curious about you getting American hops. Now, obviously, we've talked about the cost and they're expensive, but what about how they're treated? Do you have any awareness about that? You know, are they refrigerated all the way there?
So refrigeration is key. Yeah. So we buy hops from a hop distributor based in the UK, which buy a lot of hops in bulk, and we have a contract with these guys. So typically, I'd imagine they buy hops by the bale. And as soon as they get that, they treat them either through pelletization or just packing for a whole cone. And that's typically packaged in 5 kilos, or I don't know what that weight is in pounds, 5 kilo bags for us. And that means, and then it's packaged under vacuum or flushed with nitrogen. We store all our hops cold in a cold room, and try to we close up the bags whenever possible and try to use them very fast, so which means there's always a pilot or experimental brew that's getting a load of leftover Simcoe or whatever that didn't get used for the Foam and Fury brew previous.
Yeah, okay.
So we're trying to turn over as much hops as we can.
So I'm having a little trouble with this beer, and it's not for why you think it is, Chris. And I'm going to explain to our listeners why that is. So we opened a bottle of this beer yesterday to try it before the show in an effort to know more about the beer beforehand so that we had better questions for you, basically. Mm-hmm. And we were having a little trouble with the beer because we felt that it was oxidized, but not just the beer itself.
It's the mosaic.
We were worried about the hops and how you might have received them because we were getting some cheesy flavors from the beer. Okay. Now, here's what we did. We emailed Chris. I'm just telling the listeners this because we felt, now listen, we don't want to, snowball this guy with, hey, we tried your beer and this is what we picked up on the air. So we said, how honest do you want us to be? We've got another bottle to open. And what we'd like to do is either, give you the option. We still have 2 beers of yours that we haven't tried. And we sure are hoping they're wonderful. And we can just talk about those and leave this out of it in case we got a bad batch of beer. Or we can talk about what we picked up, and we'd like to leave that up to you. It's a professional courtesy that we do sometimes here at the BN, not to deceive our listeners, but to give the brewer the option to go, well, you know what? That's not how the beer tasted when it left my brewery, so I'd rather not talk about it. Well, Chris, being the badass that he is, was like, no, you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's make it a learning experience.
Sure.
Well, here's the problem I'm having, Chris. I think the bottle we opened yesterday wasn't very good, but there's nothing wrong with this one.
Agreed. I'm smelling
Am I right? Okay,
yes.
thank God, JP, that you're agreeing with me.
I'm smelling it now, and I'm going, either I was a huge asshole, or I'm a huge asshole now because I don't smell the cheesy kind of things going on.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm going,
it smells like an American double IPA, honestly.
I'm feeling like Chris, before I said all this, I'm like, all right, Chris either dazzled us with his accent and his magical dark beers.
Affecting our perception.
It's his leprechaun
power.
Or
one of the bottles he sent was no good, and the other one's just fine.
Yeah. Wow, how wild. That's different, huh?
But it's very plausible that happens. If oxygen, for example, if there was a purging, and Chris, you can talk about this better than me, but if there's a purging problem with the beer at bottling time, and they're filling it in otherwise ambient air beer, rather than one that had been purged with CO2, all sorts of havoc could happen to the beer, and relatively quickly. but I don't taste any. It clearly was a one bad bottle, Chris.
The cap could have gotten tapped somewhere along the way. Who knows, right? And let a little oxygen in.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because that was another deal. It wasn't very carbonated, Chris, actually. So it might have just been a capping problem.
Totally.
But we're tasting it, and again, we always want to give the brewer the benefit of the...
Oh, we struggled too, Chris. We're like, should we email? What do we say? Well, we need to make it sound really nice, but also,
because it's
make it a learning experience.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's like the most popular beer in all of whatever Europe.
So I want us to talk about this beer, but I want to point out that Chris was a badass and said, no, let's talk about it because we should let people learn about what oxygen does and things like that. Yeah. But then what I really want to say is it was one bad bottle because I don't pick it up with this one. And Nathan, now you're tasting it for the first time, so I'd ask you, Imperial IPA from Ireland. What do you think?
It's in really good shape. Actually, it shows a little bit of signs of age. It's probably not as fresh as if we were sitting there, which would be awesome.
Which we will next year.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it shows, maybe a slight sign of degradation, but it's in pretty darn good shape. I mean, you have a little bit of cheesy or isovaleric things that can creep in if the hops got too old before he got them.
But you're not getting that in this.
I'm not really getting that. I'm getting maybe more of a classic, as an IPA sort of heads downward after it's left the brewery, which every IPA is going to.
Yeah.
It tastes maybe a month or two out. It doesn't taste like it's 6 months out.
Sure.
So if that bottle did have this issue where oxygen was let in, would that also impart a cheesy character?
That's usually going to happen with the raw ingredient itself, and not necessarily once the product is finished.
That's why I'm interested why you guys picked that up yesterday.
So that's a good question. Would oxygen accelerate that? In other words...
It might accentuate other characters in the beer. Like Mosaic, to me, always gives a cheesy character.
Oh, okay.
And if it's oxidized beer, it might just enhance that character.
All right.
There's probably some essential oil in Mosaic that, as it oxidizes, tastes like the detector right away.
It doesn't age well, that hop, I don't think.
Yeah, cheesiness is a function of oxidation in hop, usually on the raw ingredient side, but it could be in a finished beer too. I mean, a beer like this, Chris is dumping a ton of dry hop in your, I imagine, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
That's a time bomb. The more you dry hop a beer, the less it's going to the shorter lifespan it's going to have.
He's saying 2 weeks. He wants to send his kegs out and get them back in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be in pretty darn good shape, right? That's why people love it. They're drinking it up.
Yeah.
That's why we like to drink our own beers, because they're always fresher and just taste better.
So I feel like we've gotten the best of both worlds here because we got a little discussion about what might go wrong in a beer. Yet and Chris, I really am happy that this one is so much better because I saw the ratings and I just thought, I was like, well, I don't know what to do here. This beer's great. It's a good double IPA.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, and I can see why it's rating very well. It's the other notes. So we do, even when we get beer, just a little behind the scenes of the BN, even when we get beers that are less than stellar, we then decide to talk about what can we say about this beer and what was done well. And one of the things about your beer actually was all of the beers we've tried have been fermented really perfectly, very well, gone down to the gravity they should be, dry when they should be, a little sweetness when they should be, and the IPAs were no different. And we were talking about the kind of the English malt character, which is why we asked about, so is it an English IPA or an American IPA? Because the balance, even I think on your double IPA here, is closer to an English IPA, which we really liked.
Okay. Well, the way I saw the influence of this beer was, for us, it was, in comparison to the English IPAs that we get, this was very American. But I think it was a mix mash from the standard East Coast, West Coast style thing. So the malt is definitely a driving force in there. But I think the sweetness in there really, it suits the kind of tropical hop note that's coming through.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, do you have access to Northern American base malts?
Yes, but it's not something that I'd see an advantage to in terms of it would raise our costs, our margins would go down. Maybe for a once-off, I'd order enough malt, but not for long term.
I see.
What do you think?
So you know what? I think that Northern American or Canadian malts, or U.S. malts, we're going to give you that true. Like if you want to make a West Coast style beer, you're probably going to want to use some good portion of that. And I understand where you're coming from. You're like, well, I'm going to order all this high-priced malt plus all these high-priced hops.
Sure.
This is the way I can price this beer.
But why? On that note, Tasty, why do they complement the hops better,
They
or
let
just
the hops
because
shine out more because they don't have that. They have probably a little bit less malt character. Actually, I use Maris Otter to bring out malt character in a beer, and I would use
a little less toast and malanoid.
Yeah, less malt character, more just like just pure grain character,
not sweet.
Yeah. So I could see that. I just want to point out, and this was just my own comment. When I said it's more on the balanced side of an English IPA, I meant it as a positive.
Oh no,
in terms
I get that.
Yeah,
I get it. No.
So I just wanted to. That was my personal.
But if the goal was to make a West Coast double IPA, then you might need to include some significant portion of North American malts.
Yeah. Even in a beer with this crap ton of hops in it, the base malt is still shining through.
It is,
right?
Yeah, very much. And
it's pretty cool.
Which
to me gives it an English character.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because on the West Coast we try to squash the pretty European malt and just let the hops go through.
Yeah.
But their malt is so good over there that it just fights all that.
You're doing a little bit of both. Of course, you're at the risk then of having a beer that's maybe a little overly sweet.
Or perception of it, even if it's not, if it's pretty well attenuated, right? You're going to get this perception of sweet or toasty or malanoidin, but it's not, caramel or candy sweet, right?
Yeah.
It's not like on your lips and where it's sticking and you close your mouth and you have to pry your mouth apart. It's very well balanced. I like the mashup of American hops and the English
and a bit
malts.
Of English malt.
I think it's very lovely.
Yeah. But I actually think you make a good point, too, Taste. If you're going for a full-on American IPA or Imperial IPA, try it all.
Well, that's
your next owner conversation, Chris.
I mean, believe me, this is a great beer, and we should be using those malts actually to make. Maybe
exactly.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's what we tell our.
I think we're going to become. Right? More that way than he should become our way, I think.
Sure.
And they disagree, I think.
Yep. You get a nice blend of both, and you can do some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm relieved, Chris.
Me too, also.
Good.
I was dreading the point where this discussion would come up. It's actually, I will sleep well for the 2 hours before I mash into this morning.
Yeah, what year is it in Ireland? It must be
2017 in Ireland, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a testament to your character as a brewer and, in fact, how much you care about the art of making beer that you didn't really hesitate. You said, let's go ahead and talk about the problems with the beer because I think that's a learning experience, which is what we prefer here at the BN. We never go, God, F this brewer, he sent us shitty beer. We always think, well, something went wrong. I wish we could talk about it because everyone will learn. And then I said, like in this case, it's the best of both worlds because you said, let's talk about it. And it turns out it was one bad bottle, and I predict it might have had to do something with that cap, just a capping issue.
Win-win.
I tried to pop it to drink it myself and then thought the better of it.
Fucking Scott recapped it. I knew it.
I had a conscience all of a sudden.
He put that homebrew kit to use. He's like, I got to recap it.
Yeah. Now, we could talk about that just for a second, too, for the people who are either commercial brewers or aspiring. Do you have a full-on automated bottling line? Or are you guys bottling by hand?
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay.
We have the bane of our lives at the moment is this 8-head counter-pressure filler, which demands that each bottle is depalletized, labeled one by one, rinsed, and filled on this 8-head filler one by one, then capped and then placed into a box. So we're going a little bit insane.
Yeah.
But we have just we've invested just more than the cost of our entire brew house into a new bottling line, which is set to arrive to our new facility at the end of October. Which it's something that we desperately need because the likes of that one bottle, that could be detrimental. If I had only sent you one bottle of Foam and Fury and that was the only benchmark that you had, it'd be a different conversation we're having now.
It would be, and which would ultimately be beneficial for our listeners, but let's be honest, maybe not all that beneficial for Galway. Right? And so that's why it's so cool of you to do that. But what I would do is, if your owners get a little weird about how the costs are going, play them, especially with the new bottling line you just mentioned, play them the last 10 minutes and go, see, how often do you want to hear that? You want to hear about a shitty bottle going out all the time, or do you want to do it right? Now, clearly they've already done it right. I'm just saying it might smooth over when they get grumpy.
Yeah. The next in line is a centrifuge. So
there you go. Yeah. Yeah, very nice. It's I was at a brewery in Dallas this week.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped by Lakewood Brewing Company. Shout out quickly to Manimal at Lakewood Brewing Company, who's a fan of the show and was very hospitable. Anyhow, they're a pretty young brewery, only a couple years old, and I walked right to the back and saw where they're spending their money, and they're spending money on stuff that a lot of people don't do, which sounds like what you guys are doing too, Chris, which is a good bottling line. In their case, I'm pretty sure I saw a palletizer back there because they were having 6 people come in on bottling day to palletize beer to get out of the brewery. Well, that's a lot of labor. Of course, it's expensive to get a palletizer, but if you do the math, it's you spend the money in the right places, and it sounds like your owners are doing the same thing.
Yeah, with the current bottling setup, I think our throughput is 400, 500 mil bottles an hour with 3 people working.
Yeah,
and that's pretty hard work. But in the new bottling line, we're looking at 2,500 bottles an hour with quite possibly just one person working. So it's given me the chance to absolve myself away from the packaging side of things and actually just completely go full on with the brewing.
Good,
because it's a shame it's important, the packaging and in the brewing process, but it's a shame when the brewer has to reschedule a brew day because he has to take on the packaging.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not what you're there to do. So yeah, good point. All right, I got a caller who's got a question for you. You want to take a call?
Yeah, of course.
All right, Blind Guy from Greensboro, North Carolina is on the line. Blind Guy, what's happening?
Hey, guys.
Hey, brother.
Nathan, good to hear you, man. Justin, what's going on?
What's up, buddy? He's talking to his shoe right now. He's Nike's don't get good reception. Hold on.
All right, what's the question, Blind Guy?
Chris, we have a guy here, good guy with BSG, who was touting some Irish malts. He was saying that they were every bit as good as Golden Promise and that he was wanting to get them in. Have you got stuff over there you're keeping secret?
Irish malts.
Well, currently, we don't get any Irish malts because that's a testament to our industry at the moment, is that the only maltsters can supply macro volumes. But we're looking at buying a silo in our new place that will be able to buy Irish malts. But yeah, there is some there's some stout malt that is available in Ireland that we tend to keep close to our chest.
Okay,
some special stuff in there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
How would you describe it as compared to what we're using in the Golden Promise or the Optic?
I'm not sure. I haven't actually used Golden Promise myself, so I wouldn't know the technicalities of Golden Promise.
What about just on its own? Do you know much about its characteristics when you use it?
Sorry?
Do you know much about its characteristics, the malt that you do have? Not the Golden Promise, the Irish malt.
It's standard contributors to sugar for us, but it's fairly clean, very similar to the UK malt.
Okay.
Maybe like Optic.
Sorry?
Maybe it's a lot like Optic, where Optic, unlike Golden Promise, has more of a kind of a Vienna nuttiness to it, and it is kind of like the super highway, as opposed to where Golden Promise leaves you with kind of a sweetness.
Okay. Yeah. We all the Irish malts would tend to leave it fairly clean, but if you wanted malt forward, it's there. If you wanted, like, you just mash in a bit higher.
Well, Blind Guy, maybe you ought to talk to your BSG dude and try some for us.
Of course.
Right, man.
Yeah, we had a BSG guy in here earlier today. I don't know where he went.
Chris.
We could have asked him. Ryan was here, actually.
Oh, Ryan, okay.
I think he's bailed. Anyway, all right, thanks for the call, brother.
Cheers.
Later. All right. Well, Chris, we got to get going, but I wanted to thank you for being on the program. The Imperial IPA is actually fantastic. They were all wonderful beers. Yes. Galway Bay, folks, you should go try it if you're in Ireland, because it's only in Ireland right now, basically, right?
Yeah, we have absolutely no volume to think about export markets at the moment.
Right.
So,
you're making me nervous.
But we actually did a collaboration with, it's the first US-Irish collaboration that ever happened. and to my knowledge anyway, and we did it with Beguile Brewing in Chicago.
Ooh.
And we brewed an oatmeal IPA called Goodbye Blue Monday, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Nice.
So hopefully in the long term that'll open up genuine networking opportunities for us getting beer over to the States, and we're always open for collaborations to get our name out there and to get volume other places.
Well, put me down.
Is that a precursor to like a Ruby Tuesday?
I think so.
It could be, yes.
Yeah. Well, I like it, and keep us up to date, because if you're coming out here to brew, we'd love to see you, and we'd love to be able to tell people about where to find your beer. And you guys,
vice versa, you're more than welcome to pay a visit out to us.
Well, thank you, sir. And it sounds like you're kind of growing like crazy anyway, so I don't think it's going to be that long before we get to try your beer over in the U.S. So
hopefully so.
Yeah. All right, brother Chris, you've been a lot of fun to talk to, and your beer's fantastic. So thanks for being on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, cheers. Take care, man.
Bye.
Let's also thank Tom, a.k.a. Bacchus, who was the Ireland listener who arranged for the beer to be sent over here and who turned me on to Chris in the first place.
There we go.
Thanks,
and you can go to GalwayBayBrewery.com to learn about the beers that we spoke about tonight, and all their other beers, too. And it's a nice website, and like I said, it gives you a good amount of information about each beer, so that's pretty cool.
I highly recommend taking a Google Street View tour of the town. It's very, very lovely.
Oh, yeah? Did you have a look?
No, I didn't.
Oh. Why not? You're too lazy even for that.
He's just guessing.
Yeah, I get tired.
You're like, I want to go, but I feel like I'm running through the streets.
Right, that's not a fair assessment.
With the street view.
Davey's like, what are my cats doing?
I don't know.
You could put them on in another window while you look at the Google Street View if you want.
I never realized.
Hey, real quick before we take a break, let me let you know about something from our friends over at Fast Rack. You remember the Fast Rack guys? They've been on the program before, and they got that cool bottling get rid of mechanism thing.
It's like a tray for
make it fast and easy, especially for retail establishments like ours. You just go around, you throw all the bottles in, and you get them out quick.
It's a rack, if you will.
Thank you. They did the Fast Rack Challenge, as a matter of fact. Well, they got a new product. It's pretty rad. All right, it's a brand new plastic conical fermenter, 7-gallon in size. All right, but check this out, $90.
Wow.
$90 for a 7-gallon plastic conical fermenter. $90. It has a yeast harvesting collection ball at the bottom, so you can just kind of twist it off, take your yeast out, you put that in the fridge, you're ready to go for the next time. No more racking and transferring. Primary and secondary fermenting right there in the same vessel, because you can just get rid of the yeast out of the bottom. Same thing I do with my stainless steel conical fermenter, but this one is $90. I don't know if I told you that.
You did.
It's $90.
Which is pretty cheap considering the price of it.
It's pretty cheap, right? Yeah. No sediment contamination or O2 exposure. Guaranteed consistent better batches. Limited offer pre-sale going on right now for $90 till the end of August. So go to thefastrack.ca. That's thefastrack.ca for all the details that you need to check it out. It's a pretty sweet little deal going on right now. So you got to the end of August, I think, to get the sweet deal. Check it out. thefastrack.ca. All right, we're going to take a little break here. At the break, you're going to hear from Scott Moskowitz, his short and stout segment. What are we going to hear this week, Scott?
We're going to hear from the guy who made the Cinec. It's a countertop draft system.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, so it's interesting because we've covered the what is the homebrew machine?
Oh, the beer pig or whatever. Oh, the Pico Brew.
Yes.
Yeah,
the beer pig.
That's the other thing. That's the Mr. Beer. Isn't that thing called the beer? There's a beer pig.
That's like the serving vessel, the old school serving vessel.
The beer pig. Yeah. Okay, this is better than the beer pig.
I don't know about that, but it's pretty cool. And anyway, so it's really similar, right? It's a countertop unit.
Yeah.
And just like the Pico Brew, they raised hundreds of thousands of dollars more than their goal on Kickstarter.
Okay.
So they have this enormous amount of capital all of a sudden, and I'm just imagining a world 5 years from now where on your countertop you have a machine that brews the beer and a machine that dispenses the beer next to it.
Yes, please.
Right? And so I wanted to hear from the guy. I want to know what he's going to do with all the money, and you'll hear in a minute.
All right, so that happens at the break right here. We'll be back in a few after that to play Find the Fake. That's right. And then I'm going on vacation for a long
I hope you never come back.
Long time. It's the session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network. Adventures in Homebrewing have the knowledge and expertise to craft their own gear and original recipes. Some of the things homebrewing.org creates and manufactures in-house are the Brutus brew stands and propane burners, the Serial Killer adjustable 2-roller grain mill with 7-pound hopper, custom stainless steel false bottoms designed to fit kegels, coolers, and mini-sized brew pots. And the BN Army receives 10% off their homebrewing.org orders when they use coupon code AIH10 at checkout. The brewers at Adventures in Homebrewing have designed a huge selection of original recipes for extract and all-grain brewing. Adventures in Homebrewing original recipes are tried and tested, proven to be of the best quality. And right now, Adventures in Homebrewing is shipping 24 of their best recipes for free. Visit homebrewing.org for the most current selection. Once you try one of Adventures in Homebrewing recipes, you'll keep coming back for more. And now, it's even easier with free shipping on these kits. And don't forget to use the current coupon code AIH10. Adventures in Homebrewing at homebrewing.org. When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Hey, Wooly, I'm beat. Can we find a nice tree to just hang out in for a while?
You're beat. I've been swinging through this forest for 50 years, ever since we first escaped from the circus. I know, but there's got to be more to life than exploring this creek and trying to populate the valley by copulating with loose, hairy girls. Marquis, stop. Look.
What is that?
It looks like a man-made treehouse.
With fresh food.
And craft beer.
Welcome to the Creek Monkey Tap House, boys. Grab a seat. Creek Monkeys drink free.
Awesome!
The Creek Monkey Tap House in Martinez, California takes their mission of fresh food and beer seriously. They only serve locally raised beef and chicken, as well as local sustainable produce. It's better for you and the planet, and it just tastes better. The beer and wine at Creek Monkey Tap House are chosen with the same care for the highest quality and rotate frequently to make each visit an adventure. Swing on into the Creek Monkey Tap House and enjoy a new legend of amazing food, beer, and wine. The Creek Monkey Tap House, online at creekmonkey.com.
Now it's Short and Stout with Scott the Jew.
Hi, I'm Steve. I bet you're wondering what the this is.
Yes, Short and Stout, using a visual medium to convey an audio message. What you just heard was the first few words of the Kickstarter video of a new contraption called Cynic. It is basically a countertop dispenser for beer. Of course, we've covered the Pico Brew system on this program quite a bit, the automated home brewing machine for your countertop. Well, this thing could theoretically sit right next to it and dispense your homebrew once it's ready to be served. This thing fascinated me for a lot of reasons. One is that I'm fascinated by Kickstarter campaigns that just go way, way, way past their goal. I also always wonder what these inventor, entrepreneur guys do once they get this enormous amount of cash, way more than they expected. I wanted to know about the product and what he planned to do with all that cash.
Yeah, so I'm Steve Young, the founder of Cynic Draft System, and essentially Cynic's the first ever kitchen appliance that gives people access to any beer ever made right on their kitchen countertop.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so the whole idea, and for the listeners, every beer you've probably had has been out of a rigid container, glass, aluminum, hard plastic. We've invented the first ever flexible packaging that can hold the pressures of beer. Now, why that's important is with rigid containers, one of two problems either occurs. You either need really expensive machinery to fill these rigid containers properly, or if you don't have that machinery, like with growlers, your quality is compromised. So you either have bad selection or bad quality. So with ours, It's filled with a very simple adapter, meaning any brewer can fill it, the smallest brewers all the way up to the New Belgium Sam Adams of the world. And you can access that beer right on your kitchen countertop through a special dispenser.
What does the dispenser look like?
Dispenser is made to blend in with other appliances in your kitchen right now. So it's going to have a lot of stainless steel type elements or bronze elements to really emulate a lot of the other appliances. But it's really made to brand the beer specifically. So there's a window inside that you can see what beer you're actually dispensing it. You can also put custom taps on that you want from your favorite beer. But the whole idea is we didn't want a big, bulky item taking up a lot of countertop space. We wanted something very simple and elegant, almost like a Keurig machine, to where you had constant 24 access, to your favorite beer.
So I've seen the video posted on Kickstarter, and that campaign made you, I think, enough money to, expand internationally immediately? Tell me about the campaign.
Yeah, the campaign was fascinating. So everything we've done up until this point, we haven't taken any outside money because we really wanted to prove the concept on a consumer level and let them dictate what they wanted, how they wanted it, how it was to be presented. And that's why we really bootstrapped as much as we could to get to Kickstarter. The Kickstarter campaign in itself was fascinating because we initially launched solely to homebrewers as a better way that you never had to clean bottles. You could easily trade your beer with your friends. You can dispense your beer right on your countertop, which previously had only been done with special custom units. And so we were also at the Homebrewers Conference the week prior to that, talking to people. And we got a lot of good feedback, a lot of very interested beer drinkers. But when we launched our Kickstarter campaign, there was overwhelming feedback from people that were more interested in getting access to craft beer. And so although the craft beer segment was like our phase 2 in the Senec rollout, because so many people, we probably had about 5,000 to 7,000 emails within the first 3 days of people asking, can I have my favorite brewer put their beer in these things? And so we quickly pivoted. And on day 7, we only had $30,000 raised, but within 48 hours after that, we had $250,000 stacked up, and we hit our goal. And then from there, the momentum continued, and we ended up with $650,000, which, like you said, it opens up new doors and opportunities for what we can include in this rollout and how many brewers we can include in an active role and how many test units we can have inside the brewery so that it can give free tests and samples of beer to patrons that come in the door. So what it really did was it just opened up more opportunities, and it validated the fact that, hey, this is a big problem, and there are a lot of people that are interested in getting access to beer.
What do you think that tipping point was after 7 days where it just kind of gained momentum and took on a life of its own?
Yeah, the big one was really the craft beer, but we were surprised in that what really resonated, like the media push that we got, we had 248 articles worldwide that were written just within 48 hours. And the tech bloggers were the ones that saw this. Somebody coined the phrase Keurig for beer in their first article, and then everybody kind of took that phrase and ran with it. And, for those who know exactly what Senec is and how it works, it's similar to Keurig in the way that it gives you access to new varieties and it's more convenient and sits on your countertop. And it could impact beer the same way Keurig did for coffee, but the machine in itself doesn't actually brew the beer.
What was your background that you were able to design and execute something like this?
I was a stock market analyst, and I was fascinated with the beer industry more for the growth and the diversity of brands. And so I just started talking to brewers across the nation and asking them, hey, what are some things that you struggle with? And the first couple brewers said, it's really hard for us to get our beer into people's homes and actually make money from it. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, they're probably doing something wrong, or maybe they're not far enough along to know the tricks of the trade. But then I started talking to some of the larger brewers and brewers on the West Coast and on the East Coast. And after talking about 30 of them, they all said the exact same thing. And to me, as an analyst, that was an epidemic. That was something that everybody shared and was so compelling to me that here this industry of, small business owners were suffering from basically a packaging crisis that not knowing anything about beer packaging, I quit my job. I assembled a team of some of the best beer experts and packaging experts and said, what can we do to give people access to craft beer? And, we spent about 3-4 months on market research. I literally stood in grocery stores talking to people as they came in. We did a lot of research on the current technology that's out there. But what was really unique about our team, the first engineer that I had on board, one of the best flexible packaging guys in the world. He's worked for, all the well-known consumer products that you see on shelves. But he was the initial one that took a, quote unquote stab at this thing. And he didn't have that much beer experience. And why I think that's really important is he tackled this in a completely new way. And, he didn't know how beer was supposed to be done or how it's always been done. He goes, why can't we do it this way? He applied his experience from other avenues and said, I'm positive that this can be done. This can hold the pressure of beer. It won't impact the taste. It will be a good gas barrier. And then as we started to bring in some of the beer experts, they're like, wow, we didn't know that this was even possible.
Sometimes it takes that objective perspective, the non-industry insider to see things that in a way they haven't been seen before.
Right. And I've heard a lot of questions too, with my background as an analyst, like, hey, am I just trying to make a lot of money off of that? And, the people who know me laugh a lot because money is like the last thing on my mind. I mean, it really is. I wanted to basically change an industry, and not having that much experience in it, I needed to recruit and find the people that could actually do it. So I would say I'm more of like a coach, and everybody else involved are the ones making it happen.
This is going to seem like a nonsensical question, but are you married?
I am not married.
I always ask whenever I hear the story, which you do often in the beer world, of I was an attorney and I needed to have a brewery, and so I quit my job and I didn't know what I was going to do. And you had mentioned that you had quit your day job before you really even knew what direction this beer packaging rethinking was going to take you. So I always wonder how the people that are close to you in your life react to that decision at the time.
Well, and it's funny that you say that. I knew I didn't want to raise investor money before we got to this point, prove the concept. And in order to get there, I literally packed up. I had worked previously in Cleveland, packed up all my things, sold, what I didn't need, and slept on a family couch for 9 months. And after that, and currently right now, I'm sleeping in my brother's apartment for free. But I had to cut everything I could to get to the point where we're at now, just to give us enough runway to do all the tests and the experiments. And relating to your do I have a wife question, I think she would have divorced me if I was doing some of the things that I did to get here.
Yeah, but then you would have made millions with the product, and then you would have had a trophy wife, and it would have all been for the best.
Hey, it all works out in the end, right?
Right. So going back to the packaging then, the most interesting part of it, in my opinion, is the fact that the beer goes into basically a sack. Can you just describe that?
Yeah, and to be very, very clear, this is not like a Franzia bag. This is a completely new designed bag that's never been on the market before. But essentially, it is a multi-layered fabric that behaves like a rigid container when it's full of pressure, 10 psi or above. But when it's not filled, it behaves like a flexible container that is completely airtight. You can stack it very easily on one another. But like you said, the ingenuity of what this does is actually how it functions. The fact that you can fill it airtight and oxygen never comes in contact with the beer. And, you can fill it from any tap using a simple adapter. But because it doesn't touch the air, obviously it gives you better than that 2-day shelf life. An initial test that we've done we've gotten a shelf life very close to glass bottles, which is kind of like the standard in the industry. Our engineer has also incorporated a brand new material, which we'll talk about more as it gets closer to launch, but a brand new material that actually takes oxygen out of the beer. So even if people do expose their beer to some oxygen, or if there is some, oxygenated foam somehow, the material will actually pull it out. And there are some mass breweries that are using a certain material. Nylon is what they use. We've actually incorporated something completely unique to get that, which, that combined with the metallized polyester layer, which deflects 100% of UV rays, gives you that, additional, it's going to prevent from skunking, it's going to prevent from oxidation. But then the third element, which is really, really cool, is we have a structure that has gas permeability that is up there with glass bottles. It's not actually at that level, but something that is not even close to the current plastic bottles that are out on the market if you were to buy some at sports games or whatever. So we're tackling the issue of holding the integrity of the beer in some major different ways. And they're all kind of woven together in this one structure. So, yeah, definitely not as simple as a bag or a balloon. I would call it, I don't know what I would call it. It's more like a jacket, the way it's kind of assembled.
How come then it's not, you said it was almost as good or right at about the same level as bottles for preservative qualities. Why isn't it better? Because bottles, even, when they're full, there's a little bit of headspace there, and oxygen, as you just mentioned, is the enemy of beer. So since it never touches air, why isn't it better?
It will be. It's all about the process. Bottles and growlers and cans, they've all had, centuries worth of testing and tweaking to get the process right, to get that, 3 to 5 months shelf life that they have. We've spent maybe 3 months. Now, it's been extensive testing, but as we get in the hands of some of these major brewers who are interested in partnering with us to do a lot of the testing, they'll find unique ways, like, hey, if we tweak this or if we design this differently, it'll get us another 2 weeks or something like that. So it has the potential to be better, but for the time being, we don't want to promise anything until we know exactly the parts and components and the procedures that we need in order to get to that point.
So are there home brewers, or I would imagine more likely commercial brewers, that have taken issue or have concerns with this form of packaging?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you introduce a new technology, there's always going to be some reservations, especially within beer. Home brewers specifically, and these were a lot of the comments that we got on Kickstarter, and emails that were forwarded to us. But, beer is a very traditional, I would call it an art. Many will call it an art. But, beer's been done a certain way for 100 years. And, my great-grandfather did it a certain way and passed it down to grandfather. So it's been done a certain way. And anytime you come and say, yeah, but it can actually be done this way too, there's a lot of people that'll say, no, I don't like it. It's different. It's, moving me out of my comfort zone. Whereas what we've seen from a lot of the larger craft brewers is, man, they've been craving for some packaging innovation. They know how difficult the current process is, and they know what packaging innovation can do. Whether Seneca is successful or not in the long run, there's going to be a new technology that has a huge impact on the craft beer industry to really take it to that next level. To increase the market penetration from 10% to 20, 25%. It's going to be hard to get there with heavy, bulky bottles and expensive equipment that, a lot of brewers can't afford.
I don't know if this question is answerable because I've never conducted a campaign, but do you know exactly which donations came from who? Like what percentages came from home brewers and how many commercial breweries donated?
We can, and we'll be doing this in the next maybe 3-4 days, but we'll be putting out a survey that our backers can respond to and answer. So we'll guarantee get the material information like name, address, email so that we can communicate and send the product to them. But then we will be asking additional questions like that just to improve our understanding on how this is going to be used and adopted, at least for the launch.
Initially, your vision was that these would be mostly on residential kitchen counters, right? Did you ever envision these in a commercial environment?
It can be, but that's been done before. I mean, there's been so many commercialized products, B2B products, that really haven't found a nice spot. It's not really been accepted or adopted. We wanted to take a completely different approach and really grow it from the ground up. I mean, grow it with the home brewers, the ones that really tweak things and play with things and can give great feedback and are really passionate, about brewing and then from there get it in the hands of the craft brewers. And then we can go a step further and say, okay, how can we improve the B2B or the business market, the commercial market? But that a lot of people don't understand that a commercial unit is completely different from a design, a sourcing, a cost standpoint than a consumer product. And so we kind of focused our sights on just the consumer side.
Are you a home brewer?
I surprisingly am not a home brewer, but I have plenty of people around me who are.
And what do they have to say?
The one major complaint that most home brewers have is they hate cleaning bottles. Now, kegs are a little bit easier to clean, but the other factor is a lot of times it's hard to trade beer. Now, it goes back to the fact that cleaning bottles is hard. That makes the trading difficult as well. But once the home brewers get their hands on it and they can see the quality it provides and the fact that it is easy to trade and you don't have to mess with a lot of the pains of kegerators and cleaning lines and all that stuff, I think there will be a subset of home brewers that will adopt this new technology. But again, we're not trying to replace kegs. We're not trying to replace the way that the art of homebrewing has been done. We're just trying to give a different option available to package and transport and, I guess, dispense beer.
What do you think is the likelihood of the pre-PM beer if you have the countertop unit with the tap just staring you in the face, sitting right next to your Keurig?
I think there will be a lot of temptation. Now, maybe we'll have to put a light on it to turn it off so it's not glaring right at you before you go to work. But, a lot of people, especially in the craft beer industry and the home brewing industry, they're not the type that crack open a can and pound it, before it. They enjoy the beer and they respect the beer, and that's who we're dealing with here in the near term. We'll worry about the natty light drinkers in the future and how they would treat the machine.
Now that you have so much more capital than you anticipated, what are the plans? Like, what's the timeline, and what are you trying to do to get this thing to market?
Yeah, so we did, extensive initial testing, primarily with the bags, because that's, the key component of this whole operation. But over the next, call it 2 months, we are working with 6 of the top 10 largest brewers across the U.S., which I won't say who specifically, but, we're going to be getting these bags in their hands and actually having them put their own quality assurance QA standards on it and having them toy with it and try to bust these things up and figure out what are the big fail issues that, this provides on a consumer level. What we did before Kickstarter, we knew the shelf life was good. We knew the pressure was good. We knew it didn't alter the taste of the beer at all. But that was in our controlled kind of studies and labs. And, this is going to be, right in the hands of the brewers. We're not going to be telling them how to use it. We're just going to say, hey, turn it over, see what you get, tell us your feedback. Once we get the stamp of approval and the green light from them, then it's in pretty much full production mode. And we will be demoing the model with brewers nationwide. And if everything does hit the plan, which, sometimes things do go wrong, but we'll be launching in late March 2015, March, April. And we'll launch to a certain test market for maybe 2-3 weeks just to see if any big issues come up, which we don't anticipate because of all the QA testing that we're going to be doing now. And then once that happens, we'll roll it out to the rest of the United States. And then after that, we'll go international right away.
I mean, between you and Pico Brew in the last year and the Kickstarter funds, I mean, these two countertop machines might take over the world. You brew the beer and you have the tap right next to it, and you don't even need to leave the kitchen.
Well, I hope so. And I hope so for the sake of, both consumers and the brewers, because I think what's happening right now in the industry, it's not just a fad. It's not a bubble that's happening. I mean, craft beer is becoming integrated into our daily lives and something that's actually here to stay. And, like I said earlier, if this is going to get to the next level, there needs to be something like Pico Brew, to where brewers can, test beers on a micro level and know exactly what works and what doesn't, and have a consistent understanding of the product that they have. And with Senec, there needs to be a better way for them to transport the beer and make money and brand their product and have a different quality. And I think if that can happen, and everybody really rallies around new innovations in this industry, I think there's going to be some really cool things that happen in the next decade.
I think so too, and I'm excited to see what happens. And in the meantime, take some of that $600,000 and change and pay your brother some rent, would you?
Yeah, trust me, he's been asking for it.
And there you go. Thank you to Steve Young and Senec. Thanks to Code Right and Fool for sending him my way. And until the next one, this has been Short and Stout, and I am Scott the Jew saying...
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. New items include the Big Oxygen Kit for economical wort aeration using common welding oxygen tanks, and the Unistat line of external thermostats for easy control of both electric heaters and refrigerators. In addition, they've just mashed their new oatmeal stout malt extract, so you can make those tasty winter oatmeal stouts and porters without mashing. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy. The Williams way.
21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck a J.
Are you a member of the American Homebrewers Association? Well, you should be. Members of the AHA can focus on brewing beer, and the AHA takes care of the rest. The American Homebrewers Association advocates on behalf of homebrewers like you to legalize the hobby in all 50 states and make sure that beer laws make sense. Plus, there are many great benefits that come with your AHA membership, like AHA member deals that give you awesome deals at bars, restaurants, breweries, and more. Zymergy Magazine and eZymergy for tons of articles, how-tos, easy-to-follow recipes, and news about the hobby you love, and access to the members-only content on homebrewersassociation.org. But the AHA can't do it without your support. Join today so the American Homebrewers Association can keep fighting for your homebrewing rights. Visit homebrewersassociation.org or join now from the homepage of the Brewing Network website. Relax. Don't worry. It's the American Homebrewers Association.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
888-401-BEER.
It's time to talk beer and chew bubble gum.
And we're all out of gum.
The Session.
All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks to Chris Trainer from Galway Bay Brewery.
Yeah.
That was very nice of him to join the program and also send us beer to try. You know, what would we have talked about if he didn't send beer? Irish accents?
More Irish accent, stereotype things.
Yeah, we just would have sat around making stereotypical jokes about the Irish.
So, I bet
you can drink Guinness or something.
So how close are you to the cliffs of Dover, really? Like, let's just, hammer it home right now.
So we've got a few things left to do tonight. Most important, we're going to play Find the Fake. That's right. Find the Fake, a wonderful game that JP invented.
If I can connect to the internet here, that would be great.
The interweb?
Yeah,
maybe you're looking in the wrong place. Try interweb.
Oh, fuck, hold on.
Yeah. See if that works.
It blocked your IP. You were looking at porno too much.
So we're going to play Find the Fake, which is where we read you 3 news stories. Is it 3?
It's 4.
4 news stories. One of them is fake. And then we give away a prize at the end. We'll take callers, 888-401-BEER. If anyone in the live studio audience wants to play along with the game, we'll do that too. We have prizes for you. It's 888-401-BEER for those of you at home. Or live studio audience, come up to the glass and knock on it. That's how we'll know you want to play.
Who wants to play with JP?
It'll be great radio. You come to the glass, you knock on it, and we'll give you a prize if you win Find the Fake. It's easy. You don't have to know anything about anything, really.
Well, let's not.
We just read you things, and you tell us if it sounds like bullshit or not. All right, before we get to that, let me let you know about the Siebel Institute of Technology and how they're giving away a chance for you to go to brewing school. That's right. If you've ever thought about taking a professional level brewing course, the Siebel Institute has a contest just for you. On September 26th of this year, 2014, the Siebel Institute of Technology will conduct a drawing in which they'll choose 3 lucky winners to receive a fully paid tuition in the amazing one of their amazing web-based courses. The top prize will be a paid tuition in the WBA Associate Program in Brewing Technology, giving one lucky student the ability to participate in an advanced level brewing technical program. This is a rather pricey course here that they're giving away, so it's pretty rad that they're giving it to you. There's no charge to enter. All you got to do is make sure you're signed up to receive the Siebel Institute e-newsletter before the September 26th draw date. Along with a chance to win one of these valuable courses, you'll receive updates about Siebel events, services, and products. So just go sign up. To make sure you're registered, visit the newsletter sign-up page by visiting SiebelInstitute.com. You fill out your email address into the e-newsletter sign-up area, and then for questions regarding the contest, just email Keith Lemke. That's K. Lemke, K-L-E-M-C-K-E, at SiebelInstitute.com. For information about the course, visit the website SiebelInstitute.com.
I love our Twitter followers. This one guy, Craig Kafod,
Kafadid.
Yeah. He says, I thought you kept playing the cricket sound over the guest on your last interview. Turns out crickets are just in my garage.
Oh, interesting. That is a... He's like, I feel like the interview's good. Why do they keep doing that?
Oh, I thought it was great.
Interesting. So I ordered a beer out at the break just to get back in here.
Nice.
I ordered the 2013 BN Beer of the Year.
The Harlot.
The Harlot, that's right. Now, Society Brewing Company dropped off this beer to us, and they demanded, they did not request, they demanded that when the Harlot went on tap, it was listed as the BN 2013 Beer of the Year. Clearly, because it's important, and probably more clearly because I complained about how nobody promotes that. Everybody promotes, we won a GMBF medal in the World Beer Cup, or the Draft Magazine beer of what the fuck ever.
This is a bigger deal.
Yeah, but we give out one beer a year, and nobody ever says anything. It's saved for two breweries. Chuckanut, and Society.
Well, which says a lot about those two breweries because they make amazing beer and they know good quality programming.
That's right.
Right.
Or at least good quality recognition. Or at least free advertising.
Yeah.
Well, they make good beer.
Yeah, and they make great beer. So it's listed on our tap board as the BN 2013 Beer of the Year. But one of our lovely bartenders, Laura, she fucked up. And she did a mispour first. She started pouring the wrong beer.
Get her in here right now.
But she got it right before she handed me the beer, and then handed me the right beer, and then I was like, and now I'll take the mispour, too. And she looked at me, and I was like, no, I'm fucking serious. I'll take the mispour.
Yeah, what are you going to do, pour it down the drain?
Yeah, I will take it right now.
Either give it to me or it's coming out of your paycheck.
I don't often take owner privileges, but I was like, I will take it, and you will give it. Mispour. It happens to be the Altamont Berry White. Have you guys tried this?
Oh, no.
I had a little
almost
sample
ordered
of it.
that. Can I try some?
No.
Cream ale?
Please?
Yeah, but it's like a cream ale with strawberries or something.
I was going to
like
order that,
Really?
but then Tasty told me to order something else so that it would kick, so that something
So
else
that something else would go on tap. Tasty's out there dictating our tap list by what he tells people to order.
I'm so like, sure, whatever.
And in textbook Bevo fashion, she just listens to whatever we say.
Yeah.
She likes the beer anyway, so it wasn't like it was
I did.
All right, Berry White, Berry. Berry White, a summer wheat cream ale brewed with pale malt and white wheat, finished with natural blackberries. The beer finishes dry with a residual creaminess from the lactose. Mellow crisp and fruity flavor for those hot summer days.
Oh, I want a mispour.
I love Mellow Crisp.
It's good. I don't taste a lot of the berry, but it's a damn good cream ale. In fact, as far as cream ales go, it might be the best cream ale I've ever had.
Wow.
But I don't taste a lot of the berry situation happening. But it's a damn fine...
Bevo smelling it.
You can have
the
it,
white's
Bevo.
there, but not the berry.
You can have it. Thank you. Well, tell us what you think about it first. Don't just run away with it.
Well, she's going to
She has a mic in there.
collect her thoughts in her.
Collect your...
In a plastic bag.
She's not sure about it.
Bevo's
Give him a
analyzing.
Salvation Army.
You grab Brian's mic there. It's fine.
I did.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
It's all right. I was being talked into that too, and I was like, eh.
I like it. Give some to
It
Nathan
wasn't what
Smith.
I was expecting.
Nathan,
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Let me try it. Berry White.
Can you describe what you didn't?
B-E-R-R-Y.
What didn't you like?
But use your microphone.
I didn't dislike it. It just wasn't what I was expecting.
That was really good. It's maybe a little hoppy for style, which is not
it was
what.
a little bit hoppy.
What
Did you
got a
taste
lot
the
of-
berry?
I got a lot of
No.
sweetness. I got berry.
Oh, you did?
I did get some berry, but I couldn't place it.
Yeah.
And so I was told strawberry, but they weren't sure, and so I was like,
Blackberries, it
Blackberry.
says
Yeah, I
here.
don't know if I can get blackberries, but I've been having hoppy beer for the whole night. So
Well, it is really
Oh, yeah,
hoppy,
yeah.
isn't it, for a cream ale? It's
Yeah.
very hoppy beer.
Maybe that's why I like it.
That's why I don't like
Maybe
it.
that's why it's the best cream ale I've ever had, because it doesn't taste like a cream ale.
Is it possible for us to listen to Berry White while we talk about this?
Oh,
I'll give you the
you're late.
invitation.
You should. That would have been a great suggestion 3 minutes ago.
on, girl.
Sorry.
Thank you, JP.
Can we listen to real Berry White and not JP White?
No, I prefer the JP.
Well, lick my lips at you, baby.
I don't even know what just happened there.
There's a lot of applause from you.
Oh, was that you? Oh, sorry. I couldn't recognize the sound. I was like, I just pressed a button and weird noises happened.
the most low-def version of Barry White ever?
Yeah, can we have high def? What is that from? YouTube?
Yeah. It's a recording off of YouTube.
Turn it off, please.
Love how Scott's like,
That what?
Yeah.
But you got to do Barry White in like full on.
If there's no harpsichord, he doesn't get it.
It's got to be hi-fi. You got to get the lows and the highs and everything in the middle.
See, there you
yeah,
go.
see, this puts me in the mood.
For what?
See, now this is why, Moscow, because of that.
You Rhapsody. Okay, fair
No,
enough.
because it puts her in the mood. That's why I'm making a stink about it.
There's a book I recommend called How to Understand Women.
It starts with HD radio.
Yeah. Terrence is outside. He can tell us.
Although the resolution on this isn't much better.
No.
It doesn't seem
We need a
It's not
turntable.
bad, actually, because it's a younger Barry White doing the song, right? So
It's just not enough, man.
Turn it up in your headphones.
I'm going to go deaf.
Crank this shit. You're going to go hell with deaf.
Everybody, watch the audience start going. No, nobody cares.
I hope someone dry humps someone in the bar. Dude.
Oh, yeah. How can you go wrong with that?
Abby's dancing.
Yeah, it still doesn't get me laid, though.
No. Why would it?
It's probably my fault, not Barry's.
Probably.
You think?
Yeah, well, your lack of hygiene would probably...
It's probably because I haven't showered this month.
Although the English
it's
aren't
not
very
Barry's
picky,
fault.
So...
No, she deals with it.
And you're about to go to France, so I think you'll...
Oh, yeah, I don't have to shower for 2.5 weeks. I'm going to France. I'm going to show up unshowered.
Won't even notice.
You know, when I'm there, sometimes I make those jokes about the French not wearing deodorant.
They don't get it.
They don't think it's very funny.
They don't get it.
And I'm like...
Might as well say the sky is blue. I don't care.
But I always go like... But, I mean, you get it, right? 'Cause, like, for example, are you wearing deodorant? And the answer is always no. And I go, see? That's all I'm joking about. Yeah. I'm not saying you're particularly smelly. I'm saying you don't wear deodorant. Which makes you
why not joke about me drinking wine or walking with 2 feet?
Exactly.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Having a crystal until showed up in America.
Well, I don't wear deodorant either, actually.
I don't wear deodorant either.
Ever?
I never need it.
I don't
bathe
need
every
it.
day. You don't need it to bathe every day.
I don't bathe every day, but I'm just not a smelly guy.
I can not wear it for one day, but by the second day, I got to put on deodorant.
It would be so foul if I didn't wear deodorant.
Yeah, I agree.
Really?
I don't understand.
Yeah, I've tried it.
How is that possible?
I went camping all the weekend, and I smelled fine.
Yeah, really? After the whole weekend?
I've never been up under my arms. I mean, down below.
Yeah. I've never been told I'm particularly smelly. I wear Cologne.
I'll admit I've never thought of the two of you as smelly people. So
no, I've never noticed any odor. Like that,
interesting. Well, good for you.
Myself.
Everybody's different, you know. Your pH
I'm
is
good.
Yeah, Tasty's good right now.
Yeah, I didn't take a
It's like, no, I'm
That's
good.
why
Check yourself. That's how you check. That's how you check.
Sure.
Iso alpha-acid from all those beers keeps the bacteria down.
There you go.
Probably depresses all my metabolism.
Your pH doesn't allow
pH is
for...
really slow,
yeah. Okay.
Whatever.
That's fair enough. All right, we're going to do Find the Fake.
Yep.
Brian, you going to play with us as our in-studio guest?
Yes.
We can do that. All right, so we'll take Brian, and then I've got... we'll take the first... How many people do we want to play, Moscow? 4? I have 4 callers, so Brian and 2 callers or Brian and 3 callers? Brian and 2 callers. All right. Let's see if Bevo did her job for once in her fucking life. She did.
Don't be rude. You pay me now.
So now I do my job. Let's go to Scott from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hey, Scott, what's happening?
Ahoy, hoy. How you guys doing?
Doing well. You ready for a little Find the Fake?
He's got the same accent as Brian.
All right, good.
No, but he said, hoy, hoy.
Ahoy, hoy.
How long
is that how everybody in Philadelphia says hi, Brian?
No, I'll say yo.
Yo.
Ahoy, hoy. All right.
I thought I'd go with an old-fashioned greeting for I have an ancient cell phone, so...
I like it, Scott. You stick. Don't let these guys bring you down. You keep it up.
A man after
I don't know.
Moscow's own
I don't know
heart.
if I want to own that.
It'll be fine. All right, let's go to Matt in New York. Hey, Matt, what's happening?
Hey, guys, what's up?
All right, you ready for Find the Fake?
I am.
All right, the rules are simple. JP will read us 4 news stories. They may or may not be current events. You never know with JP. One of them is false. You have to tell us which one is the fake. The Brewcasters here will help you out, whether you like it or not. You can choose to take our advice or just go about your own thing. Those are the only rules other than the ones that we make up as we go along. Fair enough, everybody?
Yep.
All right. Excellent. Let's do it, JP. What do we have?
All right. Well,
Wait 1 second.
My goodness.
Find the Fakes brought to you tonight by homebrewstuff.com.
Yes.
Our good friends at homebrewstuff.com. You can go over to homebrewstuff.com and check it out right now. Summer isn't over yet, and they've still got some summertime deals for you happening there. Hit the promotions button right there on the homepage at homebrewstuff.com. Go ahead, JP.
Why, thank you, Justin. The first story we have today for you is called A South of the Border Bonanza. By now, we know that food and beer can go very well together. We also know that some foods are actually used in the making of beer, such as peppercorns, cherries, lemons, and more. Well, Angel City Brewing in L.A. has added something different to their beer this year. Avocado Ale is a light golden beer with a generous amount of avocados added, along with cilantro, red pepper, and lime to replicate a nice cold glass of guacamole. The beer will be on tap at the Angel City Avocado Fest later this month, along with other beer and guacamole pairings.
All right, that's story number one.
This one is called From Craft to Crapper.
Like it.
Leave it to a bar in Florida to protest something that actually never happened. David Rodriguez, owner of Cush Winwood, located in Miami, which is a craft beer bar, is holding a, quote, flush-in, encouraging craft beer lovers from far and wide to bring a six-pack of, quote, mass-produced beer to their bar on August 28th. David will have a toilet attached to a drain on the curb, and all of the macro beer will be flushed down it. Why? Funny you ask. It turns out David is still upset by a bill that was introduced into the legislature back in April that would have forced breweries to buy their own product back from distributors to sell it into their own tap rooms. This bill lost momentum a week or so after introduction, but clearly David is still upset by what could have been. Quote, with what happened with that law, this is our FU stand, Rodriguez said. Regardless of the ultimate fate of the macro beer, David is essentially encouraging local beer lovers to run out and buy the very beer they are trying to protest, another bright move in an otherwise dim state.
See what JP's doing here? Tying in old beer news stories with the Find the Fake game. Well done, sir. Story number 3, please.
This one is called A Hipster Holiday. Throwback Tuesday, Memory Monday, IPA Day. Social media has given rise to many of these non-official days where folks do things they probably already do every other day, but just with more purpose. Enter Beers Day. That's right, the city of Portland is working to declare the first Thursday of each month as Beers Day to celebrate its growing craft beer scene. Charlie Hales, the city's mayor, says Beers Day started as a joke, but became a, quote, legitimate way to recognize the vibrant brewing economy in Portland. If all goes well, Beers Day will be an official citywide celebration sometime in early 2015.
See what JP's doing there? Combining his hatred for hipsters with the Find the Fake stories. I like it. Well done, sir.
And last but not least, Big Shot. What do guns and beers have in common? Besides both being terribly fun to operate, they are both being hotly debated in Texas. For the next month, the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission is allowing public comments on a proposal to remove its ban on alcohol sales at gun shows. Kim Perrymore, owner of the Black Tactical Gun Sales, is fully supporting the move. She says that with all the security at gun shows, selling beers may actually increase gun sales due to the alcohol lowering inhibition.
See what JP's doing there? Adding his hatred of Texas
and love of guns and beer
into Find the Fake.
And there you go. That's it. That's Find the Fake.
Wow, this is a tough week
good
here.
Good set.
Tough week. All right, this is going to be interesting, I do think. Well, Brian, you're here in the studio. Why don't we start with you? Would you like a quick recap of the stories? Or are you ready to choose the fake right off the bat?
Justin's going to give you the recap anyway, so.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think we should go with the recap.
All right.
I think I have my mind made up.
South of the border, Angel City Brewery makes an avocado ale that tastes like guacamole. That's right. Guacamole.
That's disgusting.
Number 2, Craft to the Crapper. They're holding a flush-in down in Florida where they all bring macro beer and they flush it down a dude's toilet because he thinks he's awesome. Number 3, the hipster holiday. It's Beers Day in Portland. That's the first Thursday of each month, just because they can. And finally, your 4th story, Big Shot. Guns and beer don't mix. The Texas Alcohol and Beverage Commission say no alcohol at the gun show. Go ahead, please, Brian.
The gun show.
That's right. Which one's the fake, sir?
There are so many stereotypes there.
Yeah, that's a JP-ism.
What?
And the one that seems to fit the best. Awkward silence?
You tell me. How do you feel?
Hey, what is that you referred to as?
Dead air, baby.
Yeah.
Florida.
The craft to crapper.
Craft to crapper
is the fake.
Is the fake.
All right, Brian is calling
I'm
that
not giving
one
any
fake.
analysis, just cutting straight to the answer.
That's good enough. Our live studio audience member says that it's Florida, craft to crapper. All right, good enough. Let's go to Scott, the other Pennsylvanian. Scott, what's happening? Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go with guacamole beer as the fake. Hopefully that's the fake.
All right, Scott says no
Doesn't
way.
sound delicious.
The thing is, I'm not...
Beer.
It's got to be the fake, right?
Where would you add avocado in a brewing process? Like, if you were to do that?
Why not?
You
It
can add
sounds
a little bit of
delicious.
anything anywhere.
Yeah.
What about all the oil, Nathan? You'd get no head retention. There isn't going to be any head retention in that beer.
This one will not have any everything. I think it might be kind of cloudy too. I don't know if you could serve that to the public at a festival event. They might not like that.
Exactly
Just
right.
like peanut butter beers.
That's right.
You may as well call it Gizpacho. It's not really.
Gizpacho. All right, so Scott says...
That's my new band name.
Well, at least the first album. All right, let's go
Four Friends
to
and Sam.
Let's go to
Gizpacho.
Matt in New York. Matt, which one's the fake?
Do you think I can get some studio audience assistance?
Yeah, you can get at least studio assistance. The audience doesn't seem to be paying attention. That's all right. Tasty, what do you think is the fake story here?
Well, I'm of the opinion that I pray that there is no such thing as a guacamole beer. So I'm going to have to go with that. The rest have their own unbelievable portions, but several do line up with stories, and I think kind of going. I'm kind of thinking they're believable in a way. Yeah. So I'm going to go with one.
Moscow, what about you? You're a critical thinker. Which one do you think is the fake?
I think it's the Texas story because they do love firearms and they do love beer.
Yeah.
But I can't see even Texas
outlawing beer at a gun show.
Well, they've done that. It's removing the ban. Is right?
That's correct. Yes.
Oh, it's to remove the ban.
Yes.
I see.
That's real hard for me to believe. The other three seem very plausible, so I'm going with that.
That's interesting. So I heard it wrong. I thought it was to ban. It's the removal of the ban.
Yeah.
Here's why I was convinced that one is true. And that is that JP went so far as to mention the TABC and not just the ABC.
Yeah.
Now, not every state has their own commission
I
like
thought that too.
The Texas and I was just in Texas, and every time I spoke to the brewers about the different laws, they also mentioned the TABC. So I felt that JP's attention to detail was too accurate to be JP.
I'll take that as a compliment. Somehow.
For this game, though, he's been great at attention to detail.
Right.
And, I mean, that's a
I'll
good...
take that as a compliment. Also, both of you are good at left-handed compliments, and I appreciate it.
At uppercuts and punching.
And today, I appreciate it.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Okay, so yeah, shit. I was gonna go with the guacamole beer. You know what? The hipster holiday is the fake one. He hates the Portland's people too much.
Interesting.
I'm sorry.
That's my
Am
vote.
I right, Nathan?
The Portland's
Yes,
people?
Yes.
All of
them.
It's not cool enough for Portland. They would
Correct.
not like this.
There's no way, that every first
They're
Thursday.
way too self-important for this one.
But isn't that their way of saying, hey, we've been doing it for...
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, and
We
aren't there
invented this shit.
already beer days? Like
Cascadian Dark
Like
Ale,
real-
anyone?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Seriously.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But like, isn't there already IPA day? And
Well, there
wheat
is, but
day
it's
and-
once a year, not every first Thursday of the month.
Well, it
Right,
hasn't
and there
happened yet.
doesn't need to
they're
be.
going to talk about it. It's still going through the legislation.
Of course, they're going to talk about it.
Same.
Well, all right. So those are our 2 cents, Matt. Now it's up to you to choose.
Yeah, definitely 3 then.
He's going with hipster holiday
All
as
right.
well. That's got my vote. All right,
Thank you,
everybody
Portland,
has.
the 3 listeners we have there left.
Yeah, they're like, well, let's fuck those guys.
Podcasts aren't cool anymore anyway.
That's
Let's
right.
listen to White Noise.
2006.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Chip? Tell us the fake. Or we'll do your thing that you do.
Thank you very much.
You do
I,
the
wanna, I thought maybe Terrence came in to play the game, but maybe not.
Did you want to play, or were you just coming in to be the black guy in the room?
Just coming in to rob you guys.
That's cool.
Hide your wallets. Hide your kids.
Damn.
Well, those of you in Florida, you can actually go and buy your nice 6-pack of macro beer and dump it down some dude's toilet to celebrate or to protest a law that never actually even happened. That is true. David Rodriguez from Cush Winwood, located in Miami, is actually holding their flush in. They actually held it on the 28th.
Okay.
And
Still
so
time to
you can
get
go,
there.
You can go do it, and you can go do this whole thing. He's very confused.
Well, you know what I've always said?
No.
God bless Florida.
God bless Florida. One of the quotes I didn't use for the story was, he said, "I really hope that the craft beer people get involved because I feel like this is something that they would be enjoying." Or some like dumb guys no clue what's going on.
Yeah,
but
it's like me speaking about Portland.
I got bored during that story. That was my backhanded compliment to you, JP. But it could not be.
Was that
the
backhanded?
fake? That had to be real.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
And also in Texas, hopefully, if everything goes well, you can go buy a gun and a frosty pint of Coors soon.
That is ridiculous.
Attention to detail, friends!
Can we sidebar about how stupid Texans are? No offense to any listeners in Texas.
Well, so Kim Perrymore, owner of Black Tactical Gun Sales, says, she makes a good point. Though with all the security at gun shows, when you walk around with a gun show, you have to have your slide open, and they take a zip tie and zip to, so you can't actually walk around with a loaded. It's ridiculous.
Sure, you can cut the zip tie and put it in a bullet, but other than that, no.
Well, but you can do that anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go.
All right.
Wow.
Who did anybody else?
That's a great.
Actually, none of the contestants picked Texas, so that doesn't knock any. The only one knocked out so far is Brian with the craft to crapper.
Yeah.
All right, that leaves either Hipster Holiday or South of the Border, both great candidates for a fake story here. Go ahead, please.
I just want to point out that Charlie Hales is, in fact, Portland's mayor. So while I did have to look that up, Beers Day is actually fake.
It had to be.
Really?
There's no way.
That seems so
Finally!
Portland. It's such a Portland thing to
I
do.
agree.
Wait a minute. So they're actually going to make an avocado beer?
Not only are they
Guacamole.
Guacamole's going down
it's
the toilet.
the second year in a row that these crazy people have done this.
Well, you know what I always say? Fuck L.A. What a ridiculous thing to do.
Angel City Brewing.
Even.
Oh, maybe you can buy an avocado beer while you're buying a gun.
Not in L.A. No.
I think at the Avocado Festival, you can buy an avocado beer while drinking or while buying avocados and then eating guacamole at the same time. It's a whole. They're trying to do a whole thing. But Beers Day is actually not true. But screw you and your attention to detail. I looked up the mayor.
Well,
Mayor's
Matt,
name.
Congratulations for following my advice over there in New York. You are the winner of Find the Fake, good sir.
Thank you.
All right. All you have to do is send an email to bevo at thebrewingnetwork.com, BEEVO, and she's going to send you a prize, brother. Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
All right. And Scott, thank you too, sir. Well done. Ish.
Kind of.
Sort of. Bye, brother.
He's like, screw you guys.
He's like, yeah, I don't have to.
I get to say
I don't have
something?
to take this from you. Well, that was a good game, JP.
Thank you very much.
You are becoming even better at this game every week.
Well,
as am I, apparently.
Yeah, I think that might be the first one you got right.
I think so. I never get these right. But I was like, no, the hipster holiday, it's just too good to be true.
I got the
for
idea.
JP.
Like I saw it somewhere, Beers Day, like in some news thing or something. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And so I kind
No,
of
that was it was definitely a good one.
maybe
Once
it was too
people
much.
from California move there, yes, it will happen, but not yet.
Yeah.
Maybe it was too much. We'll see. I take this feedback and I redesign every time.
You guys know what we should do? We should sell shots of Jameson to newly armed individuals. That seems like a great idea.
I think so, too.
You have to drink it through the barrel, though.
Yeah. Oh, God. That's fucked up, right? That's a dot comment even right there, Nathan. I like how we're turning you from a vegan pacifist into a...
Angry anarchist.
A combative... what is the word for vegan?
Carnivore?
Carnivore, thank you.
Yeah. Carnivorous?
I'm also good with attention to detail. Jesus.
All right, real quick, let's let you know about our good sponsors over at Adam & Eve. You can go to adamandeve.com right now and use coupon code BNARMY. That's BNARMY. You'll get 50% off just about any one item, which is cool. But then you'll also get free shipping and 3 free adult DVDs from all sorts of genres. Just use your own imaginations this week. How about that?
You noticed the kid in the bar, too?
There are genres and children in the bar. But if you haven't heard us say anal, then whatever. You haven't listened enough. Go
Just
to
try it now.
adamandeve.com. Use coupon code BNARMY. That's BNARMY. And support them because they support us. And why would you go stand in a creepy public store in the middle of Concord anyway when you could do it all online from the creepiness of your own home.
Right.
In your underwear.
Or your dungeon.
Yes, or your basement. Thank you to Adam and Eve. And that, my friends, means I'm on vacation.
Twitter game.
Yeah, but I don't have to do anything for that. So I got like one more
Look how
button
happy
to push.
he is. Like,
I've been waiting for this for so long. I can't.
He's ready to say, "Take it, GP."
Jesus, do I have to cry? I'm so
Unload
happy,
the
right?
Cue up his exit music here.
Vacations never
Get that shit
looked
ready.
so sweet. I'm headed to Paris.
Gay Paris.
Gay Paris.
Good.
You gonna see Frenchie?
I'm going to go see the Frenchies.
Give my
Yen,
royalty check, will you?
And I will.
Nice. Yeah.
I will. I'm going to go see how they're doing with their
Cash.
brewery work. They're supposed to be opening soon. They're going to take me and show me the new, apparently the new French beer scene that has arisen since I was last there.
Great.
And then I'm going to Italy, which I'm not sure there's a beer scene or not. But
why would you go to Italy?
I'll drink
There is.
wine instead.
No,
Why
there
wouldn't
is
you go
now,
to Italy?
apparently.
There's a beer scene there
I've
too.
been hearing about it. It
Italians
exists.
are
When I
dumb.
was there, it was not there, but it is now apparently.
Hey, will you go to Greece? I have
No.
a couple cousins I need to get in touch with.
You just need to, you need to like send a note.
Yeah.
Deliver a note.
Yeah.
Hi, it's JP, your cousin.
Yeah.
That
You
is
could
all.
just be me.
Thank you. Oh, I was reading the note.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could do that. Yeah.
He would like you to shave his back hair.
That is racist. Oh, not really.
Well,
Why?
okay. They're like, oh yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on my grandmother's side.
Oh, I'm so happy to be out of here.
That means we get a vacation here too, right?
That's right. You're all on vacation for 2 weeks, except for Scott and Bevo, who have to stay and work. Sorry, guys.
Monday night.
And
Yeah.
Dr. Homebrew on Thursday.
Couple of Mondays off. Dr. Homebrew's coming up Thursday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Why is it Wednesday?
Because
week?
Thursday's super effed in the park, and there's no parking anywhere, so we switch it to Wednesday in the summer.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Take Bart.
For my house?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, what was our Twitter game today? I think it was to make us awesomer.
Get a new hashtag. Make
Thank
us a
you.
new hashtag,
Yeah.
which, I thought it'd be a little funnier than it was. But, hey, after 295 of these, they can't all be winners.
Right.
Ryan,
or any of them.
Yeah. What?
Nothing.
Okay. I just didn't hear you. It was
No, it's
feedback.
cool. You don't have your ear horn.
Nick, I don't. Ryan Evans suggested hashtag Hop Brigade. Okay. Thank you very much. Lyle Harrison wrote in Hop Grenade Live.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Brandon Zeddy's our metal friend says hashtag Wake Up Tasty. Hashtag who
that one's good.
Hashtag who is tasty texting.
No, it sucks.
Hashtag too cool for school.
Is this all from one person?
Yeah.
Wake Up Tasty, who is tasty texting?
Yeah.
I like both of
Or
those.
who is tasty tasting. That's
Tasty,
even weirder.
yeah. That one's good for after the show.
Thank you. Dark Brewed Homebrew says be in ass hats, crop dusters, and hashtag sloppy session.
Oh, that's good.
Right. I thought that was pretty nice. James
weird.
Marcello likes to say hashtag Bevo's mom jeans.
Ah, Bevo. Stop wearing them.
they're not mom jeans.
Hashtag stop wearing them.
Hashtag high-waisted pants are in style.
Oh, they are?
Yeah,
Yes.
in 1984.
Bevo's like, hashtag good, because I have all these mom jeans.
Yeah.
So thank God they're now in style.
Dale Watkins says hashtag where's Doc?
Yeah. Getting ready for Burning Man is the answer.
Yep.
Grim says hashtag a couple two tree. It's pretty good.
Not bad.
And then
Like that.
Stink Eye says hashtag is tasty alive.
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 Now, okay, there will come a day where that is a very
That's gonna be
relevant
rude. That's
hashtag.
gonna be rude, then.
But we'll encourage it.
Yeah, of course.
It'll be like this.
I'm not going to get around it.
I mean, you won't know anyway.
I want to know the difference.
Yeah.
What do I
There's
get
no
for
way.
The listeners won't know either. He will live on through virtual tasty.
I do have an agreement
That's my
with
fear.
your son's Tasty to never actually deny or admit that you are dead. In fact, dead.
Oh,
so
okay.
Is Tasty alive will become a very popular
Weekend at Bernie's kind of deal.
Yeah,
You know, we need
Weekend at Tasties.
but instead of 2 people, it'd take 5 people to hold you up and cart you around.
every show is
Yeah.
Weekend at Tasties.
Somebody hand him a blind pig, would you?
Yeah, I'm sure that Doc can pump you full of something for us that it just sort of works. Yeah.
Oh man, is it? I think we should start having monthly wakes here.
At the hop grenade?
Just to practice.
Yeah.
When it actually happens.
Would it be a different brewcaster each month?
No, just for Tasty.
Just for Tasty. I guarantee you Tasty outlives almost all of them.
Yeah, he needs to know that we get it right.
I'm pretty sure Bevo and Nate will definitely outlive Tasty. Maybe Moscow.
know.
He's definitely next on the list. JP, you and I, probably not. Let's be honest here.
Why? Why do you think that?
Because just
Well,
have you
airplane
met us?
travel's not as safe as it used to be.
That's
I did have the conversation with myself in my head where I wasn't sure if I should drink more or less.
See?
Because I'll have a couple beers and I'll go, I'm a little drunk. Do I need to be drinking more or am I drinking too much or I need to stop?
Really?
And I feel like...
That means you're dying.
Yeah, and I feel like if no one... What do you mean?
That's just good science.
What are you saying?
Put it next to my heart.
That's the first... See? I can... Oh, yeah. See, listen to that thing. Feels like somebody's playing ping pong in there.
Drunkenness is the feeling of dying. Jason?
Nate's an asshole. Is that the next Brain
Because he
Oil
knows
album?
he's going to outlive all of us.
Drunkenness is the feeling of dying.
I like dying every day. It's fine.
All right.
So I like...
Big butts and I cannot lie.
I like hashtag is Tasty awake.
This is a good one.
And hashtag who is Tasty texting.
That's
good.
And the other one that was earlier that I really liked, but I don't remember it.
I totally closed it out because I thought you were done with the whole segment because you normally don't take this long. Let me open it up real fast.
Then let's go for who is Tasty texting, right? That one's good.
Bevo's mom jeans is pretty good, right? Don't you think?
That one was okay, but I don't think that's the one I was thinking that I would vote
All right,
for.
hang on, I'm almost there.
EJ Glory Hole.
That is a good question.
Did that get submitted?
It just did, yeah.
Just now. EJ Glory Hole.
Wake Up Tasty.
No, I already
Too
said
cool
that,
for
yeah.
school.
Chat says Nathan's an asshole. Hashtag Nathan.
Nice.
Nathan's an asshole.
I vote for that one.
Sloppy Session, I think is.
That's the other one I like. Sloppy Session.
Sloppy's really good.
Sloppy Session.
I like that too.
I like Sloppy. It's great.
Sloppy is great. Where's Nicole?
Let me redirect this.
Stop. Who is Tasty texting? Come on, that one's good.
There we go.
All right. That's our Twitter winner today. Who did that?
That is Brandon Zeddies.
All right, Zeddies, send an email to bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. She will send you a prize for winning our Twitter game.
Would you go to high school with him? You just call him by his last name?
What's up, Zeddies?
Oh, Lord. I have Tim on the phone from Oregon. He would really like to speak to you all. He's drunk.
He's from Portland. I guarantee you.
All right, what's up, Hipsters Paradise? What's happening?
What's up, Brew Network?
How are you, brother?
Good. How are you, man?
We're doing all right. I'm on vacation. Are you drunk?
Yeah.
Don't bug me.
I'm sitting here getting my drunk on with 21st Amendment.
Oh.
Sneak attack saisons, man.
Good beers. Good beers.
Yes.
How many sneak attacks have you had in particular?
I put down 6 of those.
Nice.
And 2 hop valleys, and then I had to switch to wine because I ran out of beer, man.
I've never done that.
That's always a good decision.
Did it last night.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, well, what the hell, man?
Yeah, unless you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to break out the $2 chuck. You know what I'm saying?
That's right, man.
He's like, well, it was $2.99.
You can tell when you shop at Trader Joe's too often when $8 is splurging on wine.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know. Really? All the way from France? $8?
That's what Tara and I do. We're like, you know what? We should really treat ourselves. We should up our wine budget from $2.50 to $8.95.
Seriously.
10 is still too much.
JP, this is the premise of your stand-up routine. Because you're so right. I stand there at Trader Joe's and $8. God. Well, it is from Italy.
I'm not sure about the carbon footprint, though.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous. And you know it's not even that good.
It's true, no.
But yeah, you're right. You know you're a douchebag when you're like, I don't know. I'll go pay $7.50 for a bomber of, I don't even recognize the beer.
For a pint of beer.
yeah, but an $8 bottle of wine from Trader Joe's. Good call.
Hey, it's fancy Italian Costco wine. Give me a break,
Costco.
man.
Oh, well, there you go. So it's in an enormous jug.
Yeah, does it have a finger holder?
Well done.
No,
sir.
I just wanted to say I love you all.
Well, thanks,
And I got
man.
something to say about everyone in the room here.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
I want to start out with Big Papa Tasty.
Yeah.
You're the man.
Wait a minute,
You're the godfather of
some
homebrew.
chick called me Big Papa over the weekend.
Oh!
She goes like, she says like,
did you like
what,
it?
You have a special name. What do they call you, Big Papa? I looked at her and said, she's like, like 21 in a bikini, like so small you can't believe it.
So you were like, yes?
I said, yes, you can call me Big Papa.
Did you say, I love it when they call me Big Papa
I said,
by
it's
chance?
Perfect, yes. You can call
I'm
me
pretty
Big Papa.
sure Tasty may not know that song.
What? If my mouse hadn't just failed, We're
going to bring this up here.
I'd let you know what the song is, Tasty. Oh, here it is. There you go.
I could rap it for you.
Oh, you can't do it?
No.
Go, Bevo.
Bevo, let's hear it.
No, I really can't do it.
Terrence can, can't he?
What makes you say that?
Because I'm racist. Did she play this for you?
Tasty's texting. He has no idea.
Hashtag
Who is Tasty texting?
I hope he's texting the bra that called him Big Papa. Go ahead, please, T-Bone.
To all the ladies in the place with style and grace, allow me to lace these lyrical douches in your bushes.
See, is it racist if it's true? Who didn't know he'd know the lyric?
I got to know that.
How do you lace a lyrical plate into a
Don't
bush?
you
I
just,
don't understand.
just go with it.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't have to.
You trying to dissect some hip hop lyrics?
It's art.
Come on.
Biggie sucked.
No.
I'm glad he's full of holes.
Terrence.
I'm glad he caught hot ones. Yeah.
That's
no.
No.
I'm glad he has new air conditioning.
This is what?
Because he has holes to air out.
Oh.
Because he's full of hot air. Couldn't rap
Oh,
or
that's
shit.
enough out of you.
No Eminem.
I did not even realize the gentleman you were talking about was named that name, so thank you, sir.
This is the part for you, Tasty.
Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player.
Bevo's waving the hands, too.
She's a true player.
Looks like something out of Dr. Seuss when she did
Yeah,
it.
no wonder she called me that.
Yeah, looks like a tree that's about to fall down.
It's very cold in here.
Cute little blonde chick.
All right, go ahead, please. That was for Tasty. You had more messages.
Yeah, what else?
Yes, I do. Scott, you're still a tight-ass Jew. And Nathan, you need to update your website. And
Why? That takes work.
JP, you kicked ass out of cancer, but you got to say my Twitter game once in a while.
Well,
and Justin,
be funny.
You're I try to be, dude.
Yeah.
Justin, you're fucking awesome. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank
you. Kick ass.
Thank you.
And Bevo, sexy Bevo.
Yeah.
Sexy.
Thank you for keeping the boys in line.
Yeah,
and
that's right. Sexy
Sugar Valley
Bevo.
Brewer, bitches.
Hashtag sexy.
This guy, I think this guy has probably had a couple of beers tonight.
Hashtag sexual harassment.
Yeah. Oh, JP, you're dumb, but gay. I'm proud of Justin.
Yeah.
What? Stupid.
Made an empire out of talking about beer in your ear, dude.
Thank you, friend. Thank you,
Thank
along
you.
with my cohorts. Cheers, brother, and you are our drunk of the week. That's right, only the second one from the Hop Grenade. Send Bevo an email, bevo@thebrewingnetwork.com. She will send you, believe it or not, I think somewhere around here we have our old school drunk of the week medals.
Wow.
So, Bevo, remind me to get that for you, and we'll send him a drunk of the week medal.
You're not going to get those for a while.
Even
'cause
Beav is
Justin's
surprised.
checked out.
Because I'm on vacation! I should have
Demo.
about 3 hours of work to do tonight before that, but I'm so close to vacation. So close.
Can Terrence take us out?
Yeah. Can you sing us I Love It When You Call Me Big Papa?
You can read the show plugs if you want.
No, you do the plugs and he does the background
Behind
music,
it.
I mean.
All right.
So what do you think, T-Bone? Can you do the... is he listening?
You know this booth is soundproof, right? And he doesn't have headphones on?
Give him your headphones for a moment, will you please?
It's actually not soundproof, dummy.
He did look like he was too agreeable. He's not going to be in
T-Bone, how far into the song could you get?
Did you already hear me rap?
Yeah, so
Yes,
you're
about
good to
it.
go? Oh, that was that? What rap could you do that you could go farther so that you could be the bed while...
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
Why don't we do a little Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Nothing But a G thing?
Do you need the background music, or can you do it like a cappella?
I'm sorry, isn't that Warren G that has nothing to do with either of those two people?
No.
Warren G is Regulate.
Yeah,
Get
which
it right,
was
homie.
bad. Nobody likes Regulate.
Oh, excuse me. Every white kid
Nobody.
loves Regulate.
It's
I love
the
Regulate.
worst. It was from.
You can't
it was
be no
from
geek
the
off the
whitest
street.
movie ever.
You gotta
it
be
was
handy
from
with
the
the
Western
scale,
movie with
if you know
Emilio
what I mean.
Estevez.
You mean Young Guns?
Yes.
Yeah.
How could that be a good rap song?
You can't be no geek off the street. You
Why
gotta
is
be
this
handy with
happening
the
right now?
steel, if you know what I mean.
So, do you need the music? You can do it without. All right. Do you need Moscow to beatbox underneath it? Okay. All right. Moscow Nate, you're on the beatbox, and then JP, you're doing the plugs. We are off next week. Thanks to everybody and our sponsors. Thanks to the Hop Grenade people that are out there and our wonderful servers and bartenders. Come on out, see a live show with us. JP, take us out of here.
1, 2, 3 into the foe. Snoop Doggy Dogg and
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com.
the microphone first, so
Chris from Galway Brewing in Ireland sent us some amazing beers. Cheers to him. Support the cause and send the Bee and crew to Australia for the National Homebrewing Conference. Head over to Indiegogo.com and search the Brewing Network to find out how. Follow JP on Twitter at Major Jip and discover a world of whimsy and wonder. For some good beer insight and homebrew info, follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Production director on the session has been Pushy Jack. Today's show has been produced by Scott Moskowitz. JP had an empty bladder and a nail full of drywall. Bebo simply was. And your host was Justin Crossley. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And now you hookers and hoes know how I feel.
Yeah, I keep going.
I lost the beat.
I'm done, baby.
Ugh.